Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Oh, should we start this show?
Yeah, I'm down. Just buying a car on Carvana first.
Ooh, for real?
Yeah, it's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do is answer a few questions.
Ooh, that's helpful.
And now just customizing my down and monthly payments.
Ooh, that's a very fair deal.
Yep. Boom. Just bought a car. And you get to take me to the Carvana vending machine in a couple days to pick it up.
Ooh. I'm kind of busy.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4041. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my car, Montgomery. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs from the Daily Miggs Morning Show join us. Once again, we will sit and spin. And today, we have artists who like themselves a whole lot. With 10 bands with self-titled songs. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack, drinking it down.
All right, here we go to Florida and the Village's entrance where a man greets residents with swollen clackers. Meanwhile, researchers believe your dog dreams about their owners, giving them bones and crackers. If you're headed to the racetrack, bet on the horse that's on meth. Man trying to steal car at dealership, he comes very close to death. And a guy steals a truck with $30,000 worth of ice cream inside. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, many people call childhood an age of innocence, and a lot of ways that's true. But sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, kids are just guilty as F. They know what they're doing, and they know what they have done. A teenager in Utah, he's facing multiple charges for property damage. So the question is, what did he do? Well, he taped dead fish to ATMs and then taped a dead fish to a cop car. And sure, it's not the worst thing you could do, but he was caught, and now he's in trouble. And look, I did much worse as a teenager, but I didn't get caught. Now, in Nashville, a 14-year-old kid, he was arrested after stealing a school bus. Now, even worse, he led cops on a high-speed chase. Now, high speed is, of course, relative to a school bus, but authorities had to deploy a spike strip and use a taser to subdue this kid. And yeah, he's in a heap of trouble. Let's get a little younger. There's a 12-year-old kid in Michigan. He stole a forklift. To his credit, he knew how to drive it. He had another high-speed chase. His high speed, of course, topped out at about 25 miles an hour. But the point is, the cops had to chase him too, and now he too ended up getting arrested. Now, we understand that most of you do not have a juvenile record, but that doesn't mean that you weren't a delinquent. Even if you didn't break any legally legislated laws, you probably broke plenty of parental and or school laws, and when you get caught, you have to pay the price. And that's what we're talking about today, those moments from childhood where you royally messed up. And sure, you can laugh about it now. probably not that funny then. And that's what leads us to today's question, because all of us have a story. What was the most trouble you got into growing up?
To be a part of the Big Show, call 206-803-ROCK. You can like The Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to themensroom@KISW.com.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Yo, next round is about to start. You ready?
Yeah, just shopping for a car in Carvana.
For real?
Yeah, Carvana makes it super convenient to shop whenever, wherever.
For real? That's a ton of car options.
Yep, and these are all within my price range.
For really real? You can afford that?
Yeah, with Carvana. And boom, just like that, I'm getting it delivered in a couple days.
For really, really real? You just bought a car.
For real, and you just lost. My turn.
Visit Carvana.com to shop for thousands of vehicles under $20,000.
1, 2, 3, 4. Those are numbers. But you already knew that. If you want to know what number you're going to pay each month for your car, use Kelley Blue Book My Wallet on Auto Trader. They're really good at numbers. Auto Trader.
Get ahead of postage rate increases this year with Stamps.com. It's like your own personal post office. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Omacholas, away we go. Welcome to season 19, episode number 4041. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, joined by Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs from the Daily Miggs Morning Show. We're going to sit and spin. Kind of a egotistical, narcissist version of...
Is it that, or is it that your band name's super cool?
I don't know. We have 10 bands with self-titled songs. The name of the band, they wrote a song with the same name as their band.
I'm going to guess Kajagoogoo, not on the list.
No.
Chumbawamba, probably not on the list.
Not on the list.
And maybe not Wham. Although you could write a song called Wham.
You could, yeah. But either way, they there was an era where you said, you know what, we're going to name a song after our band.
Was it an era? Do you think another band will do it?
I don't think it's been done lately. Seems like it's been a while.
Trying to think of the most recent band. Granted, I'm old, so recent to me goes back to the 80s. You're right, man. Probably in the 21st century, I cannot think of a band. Like, this is the name of our song.
I truly believe
the name of our band.
I believe there are artists that are so iconic that they could pull it off. They could do
artists,
it now.
Bruce Springsteen. I wrote a song called Bruce Springsteen.
I think if Dolly Parton wrote a song called Dolly Parton.
All right.
People would like. If Snoop Dogg wrote a song called Snoop Dogg.
He almost did.
I think that it would probably be good and people would like it. I think there's a few artists that could do it. There's just a handful out there, you know?
Ted searching his brain.
I mean, Snoop has a song about him.
Yeah. But it was like an introduction. Yeah. It was an introduction.
Okay. And rappers, male, female, they always talk about themselves in the third person.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that would be an easy one right there. So we got 10 bands with self-titled songs coming up as we will sit and spin. Also, what do we have for you? All of our podcasts up in one location. Get that Odyssey app now. Download it now. It's absolutely free. There are tons of music channels on there, including all our podcasts, daily podcasts that we do each and every day. That's available. You can subscribe to that and make sure it just falls down into your phone or your computer, automatic download so you can catch up on old episodes. Greatest Story Never Told podcast, Megacast, the podcast, the weekly podcast that we do. We have about a 45-minute best of for the week. That podcast is there if you just want to catch up on the show in the past week in a condensed version. And, of course, the Men's Room Radio channel, all those things and more exclusively on Odyssey and the Odyssey app. Okay, we're going to get into our question today. And although there are times growing up that you've gotten into some trouble, depending on your parents, depending situationally what's going on in your household. Do you live with two parents? Do you live with one parent? Do you live with step parents? Grounding rules are different.
Sure.
Your punishment is different as far as the level of how bad you effed up. I will tell you this. I have, knock on wood, with my two daughters, I never was in a situation. I was frustrated with some of the behavior.
Sure.
But there was never a time where punishment was necessary or needed in a lot of different situations.
A lot of times you just have to have a quick conversation.
Right.
You know, just like need the punishment. Just like, hey. And I mean, my kids are young enough now that, for the most part, In a couple of years, I think they will discover things to get into, but right now, they're still young enough where it's not so. But like my kid yesterday, he had to go to the principal's office because he laughed at a fart.
Yeah.
And I struggle not to laugh when I heard it. He's not the one who farted.
Right.
It's just he laughed. But, he was kind of upset. It's like, man, I got in trouble. I said, well, did you really? It's like, well, I got sent to the principal's. I'm like, and then what happened? I said, well, we had to read a book for 10 minutes. I said, look, I'll let you in on a secret. You're not in trouble. The principal just had to deal with you because you were there. Didn't feel like dealing. It's like, read a book. You laughed at a fart. It's funny. It's okay.
And I think a lot of times as you grow older, you become a parent, you try not to do some of the things that your parents did to you growing up.
Of course.
So I never laid a hand on either one of my kids.
Yeah.
I never did any of the ways that I was disciplined growing up.
For sure.
For the things that I did wrong. Because I just didn't think that it didn't really help me at the time. It just made me want to kick someone's ass.
But but at the same time, a lot of the things your parents said when you were growing up, you realize you now repeat to your kids only because the situation's the same.
Sure.
So it's like, all right, well, my father said this. That kind of statement worked based on the look on his face, right? You just understood.
I'm not really mad at you as much as I am just completely disappointed.
Well, sometimes, back then, I would catch a whooping and it was like, I didn't even do anything bad.
You caught a whooping because you did something at the grocery store.
Or like you threw up in the middle of the night. It's like they're kids.
Right.
Sure.
It happens. Yeah. It's fine.
But there are times when you know for a fact that you crossed that line.
Sure.
Based on whatever the situation is, and you get in trouble. I think I was grounded for a month at one point in time. I'm trying to think of some of the, more so than anything, it was things were taken away from me that I enjoyed.
That was more the thing. Not that you could not leave your room or do whatever, but like the things you loved most, which, by the way, now the threat is just video games or fun.
That was mine, video games.
If we take this away from you, that's worse than anything that we could possibly do.
Santa Claus one year brought me a ColecoVision, which was my next gaming. I had an Atari 2600, and ColecoVision was the next in line before Nintendo and Sega took over and Microsoft. But ColecoVision, they had Donkey Kong, they had all these games that I played in the arcade. I wanted to get this thing. It was touch and go because that thing was about $200.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of money. That was the only thing that you were going to get.
Oh, don't worry. The cost is relative now.
So,
PS5, talking to you.
And I'm not kidding you. The games were still $50.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they are now.
About $50.
I think it's kind of the same as marijuana. The prices have remained
Stays about the same.
About the same.
Yeah.
But either way, that was a lot of money. Just to even get one, it came with a few games, but to buy a game was $50. So that was where I was saving up my money. So go back to school in January after the holiday break, and I can't remember exactly what I did, but me and a group of my friends got in trouble from something related to school, and I cannot remember what the hell it was. But either way, I lost the ability to play that game that I had just got for a month.
Yeah.
So like a dry January, I did a video gameless January. In West Virginia, it's snowing outside. It's freezing cold. You really don't want to spend too much time outside. You go sled riding and crap, but other than that, you go into school, when you come home, you're doing homework, and then I had nothing to do.
Right.
It's not like there was a bunch of crap on television like there is now, or there was anything like that. I just basically sat in my room and listened to the radio. And that was not bad. It was just.
But it's not what you wanted to do.
Not when I got this brand new gaming system that's just sitting down there and I can't touch it. So that sucked.
Yeah, because you come home, there's some cartoons on in the afternoon, but then you're right. Then you get into local news and stuff. Back in the day, there wasn't Cartoon Network.
No.
Right, it was just
kind of adult stuff. Every once in a while there's a show you'd watch, but for the most part, not Monday through Friday, maybe Saturday and Sunday you catch.
Yeah, I never got grounded a bunch. A couple times in high school, but they were fairly earned. Yeah. But I remember getting in trouble once in like 7th or 8th grade. I forget what we had done. We had done something that was pretty like, we had stole sodas from like the cafeteria at the school or whatever.
All right.
So it was pretty legit. But I just remember they were like, you're not going to that like Maryland basketball game.
And that's what
crushing.
Oh, I remember.
I sit at home and watch it on TV.
Ugh. I remember what the hell we got in trouble for now. This was horrible. We used to sneak out of the house a lot. Unfortunately, the night we snuck out, it was during the Christmas, the holiday break. It was me and two friends, and the two guys that lived close to the school. We all kind of met up at the baseball field. That type of shenanigans. That was where the dugouts were. You could meet chicks there. Don't ask me why. That was just the place.
You don't have to explain why.
That was just the place where we hung out. So my buddy Pat, who's kind of an idiot, and Herky. All right, I met up with them, and we're at the field. There's a concession stand, It's got one door, and it's got, it was boarded up with 2 pieces of plywood.
Yeah.
Someone had tried to break into the concession stand. One of the corners of the plywood, the nails were out, and it looked like somebody tried to open it up.
Sure.
So me, Pat, and Herky just got on there and just yanked that thing off. Got in there, stole all the candy, stole the chips. The sodas weren't hooked up. This is in the middle of the winter.
Yeah.
So we just took as much of the stuff that was in there, the perishable foods, as we can. The problem is, again, it was in December. It was snowing. Guess where the footprints went back to? They went back to Pat's and to Herky's house.
Yeah.
They just followed the prints.
Of course.
That was easy enough. I didn't take any of the stuff. I was just like, you know what?
Doesn't matter.
Their house is closer. Their house is closer. We'll split it up later. Because they were going to hide all of the candy and all the stuff at Herky's house. Because Herky had a single mom. They had a big house.
Yeah.
2-car garage. He wasn't going to get... He could hide the stuff.
Right.
We could not. Pat had like 5 sisters, family, the whole deal. I'm not taking it back to my house. When he got busted, he ratted us all out. So that's when the phone calls started coming around. When we got back to school, since that was school property, we got called to the principal's office, the entire deal. That's why I got grounded for a month. And I didn't even have anything. I was definitely
You're
involved.
part of it, right.
I'm part of the heist. I didn't have any.
You're the getaway driver, basically.
That's
I
exactly,
did not pull a gun out on the teller. Yes, I knew what they were doing. Yes, I was a getaway driver, but I'm not the worst stuff. But anytime it's guilt by association, I remember a friend of mine stole, I was like 2nd or 3rd grade, but 3rd grade, and he had stolen another student's watch, right? Because we had those, not quite a cubby hole, but kind of a rollout tray that you put your crap in. And this kid had a Timex watch, and he put it in there, and someone else I knew grabbed the watch. I knew about it, but somehow I was now associated in the theft, and honest to God, I had nothing to do with it other than being aware and not narking the kid out, because that's just not my deal. And honestly, I didn't care, and I did not believe that my buddy who stole the watch planned on keeping it. It was just more of a make this other kid panic, which he did. But I guess he had seen evidence that maybe he'd gone in there, and I'm staying. Whatever. Anyway, I get home, and my father, he doesn't play that kind of thing. And I'm trying to explain to him, hey, man, I did not steal this watch. Well, I couldn't get a word out. And I got my ass whipped, and it was all about stealing stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even do it. So took the beating, you deal with it, got whatever kind of punishment you get when you're 8 years old. But the whole time I'm like, damn, man, I didn't even steal the watch. It wasn't even me. But it doesn't matter. And it's one of those things where you learn real quick. Who you choose to be friends with can be just as detrimental as committing the actual crime.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And those parents who have the crappy kids, they believe that their kids' friends are the ones that are being the bad example. They believe that it can't be their little, sweet baby.
Sometimes parents just get it wrong.
They do.
My mom always had a thing against one of the guys, and we had gone to beach week together or whatever, and then we went down for spring break, right? He knew some girls that were going to college at Charleston. So we're 18, 19. We go down there. Now, a couple of his other friends from his neighborhood that I did not know, they didn't go to DeMatha, they must have stolen some of this. We were staying at these guys' house, but they weren't there. They must have stolen some of the stuff. So I don't know why, but my mother got it in her head that John was a bad influence. And it took years.
Really?
I was like, look, those were kids he grew up with. We just brought them. But yeah, and I'm like, John is one of the nicest, most upstanding dudes. He's a teacher now.
Yeah,
but she just was dead set on it, and he couldn't come over to our house.
I will say this.
Whereas I had other friends that were at my house all the time that were degenerates.
Yeah, my buddy Tony, but my mom loved him.
My buddy Josh was a little more of a degenerate, but she loved Josh.
The one thing I do try to do as a parent, especially at the age that the kids are now, because I'll get an email or get the phone call about whatever has gone down, and I know the kids are trembling in their pants for me to get home, but just because of the way my situations have gone down at roughly their age, the one thing I do is I separate them. We sit down in a room, keep it kind of quiet, because I'm not trying to humiliate or embarrass them. And just what happened? Why am I hearing blank? And you let them explain. And for the most part, it's decent stuff, and you can just talk to them. I just remember, getting home from school, my mother's already pissed because she's already gotten a phone call from this little girl's mother. And what the mother said was true. It's just not full story. So I get home, and she's mean mugging me. And she's like, I'm talking to so-and-so, and she says that you picked up a dog turd, which I did, and hit her daughter in the face with it. I said, I did. So before she asked me what happened to provoke me to do this, she said, I want you to apologize to that little girl. I was like, no. This is 3rd grade as well. And that made my mother lose her mind, but I'm like, no. So I hear my mom now explaining to this girl's mother, I will talk to him, and I will get to the bottom of this and see what the problem is, and he will call your daughter back, and he will apologize. slams down the phone. She's like, did you throw this dog ass? That's what she said. This girl. I'm like, I did. I get laid out for about another 10 minutes. And look, I'm sniffling, dude. I'm not just being completely, like, F you. But finally, she goes, well, what led up to this? I'm like, she called me the N-bomb. My mother was like, F that little bitch. I'm like, if you had just asked me why I did it, I would have told you this. And I have been berated for 20 minutes, right? So I'm already in tears and doing the thing the kids do, only for you to be like, okay, maybe don't do that, but I'm not mad at you. So I'm telling you that stuck in my head. So with my kids now, just like, hey, I'm going to tell you what I heard. I wasn't there. Just tell me your story. It works out much, much better.
We brought you this story a couple of days ago. A teenager in Provo, Utah, facing multiple charges of property damage and stands accused of repeatedly taping fish to ATMs and once even taping a dead fish to a cop car. Doing so all in the name of social media clout. The kid has amassed nearly 89,000 followers, all from posting videos of fish that are duct taped to ATMs.
Did they say what kind of fish?
Fish that appear to have been caught locally.
Oh, really?
Not purchased at a grocery store. Most of the fish appear to be carp or catfish.
I just assumed it was like goldfish or something. Okay.
Yeah, they're bigger fish.
So this kid is out there fishing and then taping.
Yes, with duct tape. Like, he's Ted's right. They're not like small fish. Whatever he catches.
I still don't know how I feel about this. Like, I get that he's in trouble, but I'm like, I don't know. That seems pretty harmless.
I think what you need to do from the parent point of view is like, you're in trouble, right? And whatever you're going to do is punishment. It's a punishment. But I think when I close the bedroom door, I'm kind of chuckling under my breath. Like, okay, if the cops are going to bring our kid home for doing something, I'm glad it's that.
Yeah. According to ABC4, the two charges of property damage stem from the cost of the cleanup, as someone was tasked each time with having to clean up the duct tape fish on the ATMs. Now, one video where they posted with a caption, "We support our local PD," shows what looks to be a rainbow trout taped to the side of a police cruiser at night. That video alone picked up 30,000 plus likes in November. Now, most of the videos like this,
that's kind of funny.
I don't know, I'm trying not to laugh.
We support our local PD. Yeah. Boom, here's a trout.
Most of the videos look like the camera pans up to show a fish, then duct taped to an ATM. In this instance, it's a carp with a cigarette stuffed in his mouth. Maybe it's the mere fact that this has been happening in Utah, but they said that they were, some people said they were getting extreme SLC punk vibes from this prank. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay.
Salt Lake City?
Yeah, I guess it must be.
Oh, the Salt Lake City punk scene.
Yeah.
Well known.
Well, because the subject is 17 years old, the case was turned over from the Provo PD to juvenile justice. He is charged with second-degree penalty with damage in excess of $5,000. This is not, in that instance, over $5,000 damage. So it looks like he's going to get hit with a Class B misdemeanor.
What do you think would even happen if you're 24 years old and you get, like, that's your crime? You're an adult, and you'll be charged as an adult, but I'm being charged for taping fish to things.
Well, here's the thing. Look, I know what he was doing, and he was having fun with it. Obviously, he's doing it for social media. I mean, Ted, as you said, you played mailbox baseball. That's federal crime.
Yeah.
I used to blow up mailboxes with my buddies. Pat, back again. That's federal crime.
We used to drop them in the big blue. We did not know it was a federal crime, but yeah.
But once the police become involved in something, it does not matter what the deal is or how you can explain it to your parents. Your ass is grass.
Yeah.
If you've damaged police property or any of those things, if they're knocking on your door, regardless of what it is, if the police have to talk to your parents, that's not good.
I know this from experience. That
is not good.
It is bad.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like this, it could have been your buddy's parents brought you home for the same crime, but when the cop, I think I was 12 when that happened, man, I just remember my dad opening the door, seeing the cop looking at me, and I already knew I was going to die. So it got to the point where I did not want the cop to leave.
No.
Got to say, hey, man, when you leave, you better come back because he's going to kill me.
You could be 17 years old. A cop comes to your parents' house. You are absolutely terrified. The next year you move out when you're 18, you could be throw a party, and a cop knocks on your door because you got the music too loud, and you open it and go, "Oh, hey, officer, how
what's going on, man?"
Oh, yeah. 1 year later. The time that you can go to jail. Now they're like your friends.
You would rather go to jail than have the cop
turn the music
talk to
down.
your parents.
Just take me downtown.
Are you guys of age? You guys drinking in there? Well, I mean, we're not of age, but we live here and stuff like that. No one here drives, officer. We're all good. We'll turn the volume down. We'll keep the noise off. Okay, if I have to come back here again, then it's going to be a little bit different. Okay, cool, man. Hey, have a good weekend. Thanks.
Right.
1 year before that, oh, God, my mom's going to kill me.
Yes, she is.
But she won't have to know about this. What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returns...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
This spring, break away and visit Fort Collins, Colorado. Seeking a culinary escape? Local restaurants offer exclusive specials during Great Plates of downtown Fort Collins. Love live music? FOCO MX is a 2-day festival with hundreds of Colorado artists. Eager to be entertained? The Lincoln Center hosts comedian Mike Birbiglia and an evening with John Cusack. Plan your travels at visitfortcollins.com. Fort Collins, where adventure casual is a way of life.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, what was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Here's a good one from the text. When I was 4, I got some tools for Christmas. I went and tested out my new hammer by smashing out all the lights in my neighbor's truck. Oh, yeah. That'll get you in trouble. Hello, Scott. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, Buchola.
Hola.
All right, guys. So basically, I was in 8th grade at the time, right? So I'd skipped school. So I'm at home, and it's probably about 11:30, 12-ish. And I'm getting kind of hungry, so I'm like, well, I'll make myself some top ramen. Boiling water's not that hard, right?
In theory.
Yeah, in theory, right? So boiling the water was super easy, right? I just put it on the stove, but forgot about it. And I was trying to make a bus to go down to the mall. So I was like, well, I'm going to leave, catch that bus real quick. Yeah. So before the age of smartphones, I get a phone call on my little, old school flip phone, right? And my mom is furious. Apparently, well, not apparently, I did, left the stove on with the boiling water. Well, the thing is, it wouldn't have been that bad, but she keeps decorative candles, around the house. And so she had left a decorative candle on the stovetop. And I don't know how, in God's name, that thing didn't ignite. But it was burning off all of the wax. It had completely melted down into the stovetop and damn near burned the whole house down.
So what was it? What is your punishment? I'm also curious about that.
Right.
What did your parents, how did they lay down the law on you?
So that one was obviously a little more oversight. I wasn't allowed to basically come home or do the latchkey thing, right? They made me ride the bus. And then also all the video games taken away, dial-up internet at the time, that's gone, that kind of deal. So just basically as much punishment as they can. And then obviously the harping and the fact that I almost burned our house down kind of set in for me. So
Were they more upset that you almost burned the house down, or the fact that the reason you almost burned the house down is because you skipped school that day? This would not have happened if you did not skip school.
So my mom was a teacher at the time, so she was a lot more pissed that I skipped school.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. As a parent, look, we know the kids are kind of absent-minded and forget things. We understand that, but if you're home when you're supposed to be, maybe someone else turns off the stove. So you're telling me this is the way I see it. You cut school and then almost burn the house down. That's the problem. Not that you made a mistake, but that you skipped school to burn my house down.
I'll tell you what, I do remember
That's
this.
bad. That's bad.
Every single morning, I was one of those people who my mom could knock on the door 5 times. I just did not get up and get moving.
Right.
But the way the bus route was, it was up on a hill. There was a road, and the bus came down that hill. And you could very clearly see the bus coming down the hill because it would put on the flashing lights because it had 2 or 3 stops for kids along that slope. My bus stop was about 100 yards away from my home. So I just had to run to the corner. And let's say...
See, as a kid, running 100 yards, like cool.
If the bus was normally 7:30, you needed to be there at 7:20. It could be 10 minutes early. It could be 10 minutes late. It could be 7:40. So you had a 20-minute window.
Right. It's not the city bus.
Yeah, you needed to hit that damn
Which
thing.
is guaranteed late.
And if I did not, if I did not make that school bus, my parents absolutely, and they could drive me, but they lost their frickin' minds. They absolutely lost it. And I remember like them picking me up and telling me, I can see that. You get your damn clothes on now, get your ass out that door, put your shoes on, don't even tie them, just take off running. And I would run and wave my hand, the bus would wait for me. And I mean, I was just like, because it was just the most, I don't know why. It was just such a big deal if I missed the bus.
I can tell you why. Because you have one responsibility. That's all it is. Look, I remember I stayed after school to actually do more schoolwork voluntarily, which was real unlikely. 7th grade. Me and 2 of my buddies stayed later because we had access to the library and we had some project we had to get done, right? No big deal. And the last bus that left there, I don't know, say it was 4:45 or whatever. And I missed about like 5 minutes. So I called my dad and I'm like, oh, hey, and he do me a solid and just pick me up from school on your way home. And honest to God, it was on the way. Same thing. The car ride from that school to home, you would have thought that I killed 17 people and burned down a building. And all I could think was like, when we walked out, we saw the bus pulling off, man. We tried to make, he didn't want to hear it, man. All you had to do is catch the goddamn bus. No, you guys are screwing around. I'm like, yeah, we were screwing around a little bit, man. But I mean, honestly, like, and again, pre cell phone where everything is synchronized to a satellite so that your computer and your phone will change times to the same time at the exact same time. My buddy's watch was like, I don't know, 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
But that's the only time reference we had. So he says it's 4:30. The reality is that it's 4:37. Well, we don't know that. So we honestly made a conscious effort, be there on time, do the right thing, but we missed the bus. And I don't know if my buddies got in trouble too, but I just remember that car ride, and it's like a 7-minute car ride. But those 7 minutes, I'm like, holy God, man.
I didn't make it.
I think part of it too for Miles, it's like they probably just have their morning routine.
Right.
And you not being there is awesome.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's just like, all right, now I got to go do this.
Like, you know what, I'll say this, and I think Ted's right, because say you get off on President's Day, right? You're off on Monday. That's cool. But so are the kids.
Okay.
But when we're off on a Monday and the kids aren't there, it's a much different kind of day.
And I got yelled at at the bus driver. My mom, at one point in time, I missed the bus. So I comes, slopping back in the house. Like, I missed the bus. And she's like, I mean, my mom rarely cusses. 9 million cuss words. Grabs me by the backpack, takes me in the garage, pushes the garage door open, starts tearing off for the bus. All right. Now, when the bus.
Oh, she drove you to the bus.
When the bus, she's hightailing a pink Volkswagen bus.
Good luck, man.
With a Mary Kate. Yeah, trust me. It was the most embarrassing thing of my life. Okay, when the bus stops, as you know, there's a stop sign that comes out from the driver's side door.
Yeah.
The driver's the flashing lights.
You got to set right because it stops everybody, whether you're behind the bus or in front of it coming the other way.
Doesn't stop my mom, Ted. She goes right past the bus, pulls in front of it. She's flashing the lights. She pulls in front of the bus, puts her brakes on, and stops, and basically,
pushes your ass out the door.
Pushes me out the door, and then I walk, up to the bus, and the driver's like, "Did your mom see the stop sign?
Lord.
You can't pass a bus when it stopped with the flashers on." I'm like,
my mom's illiterate.
I know that. She's very mad at me. I missed the bus, and she's like, and the lady's just like, "Please tell your mom if she just flashes lights behind me, I will stop the bus." But
do not pull in front.
She cannot pass the bus and then pull in front of me when I have a stop sign there. And I'm like, I'm not telling my mom that. I'm not.
You're going to get screamed at again.
I'm not.
Mom, one note.
You tell that bus driver that I said they were 10 minutes early today. Whatever they do. I was like, no.
I'm amazed that people still do that.
I have not seen that.
It was a rural road. I get it, but still, like,
no. But I'm just saying,
we are, man. There's in the morning.
There's a ton of school buses,
and look, it sucks, but you got to stop, man.
Yeah, I saw somebody do it the other day, and I was just
really,
and I'm like, maybe they don't think it applies to them because they're on the other side.
No, it applies.
I know. I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. It caught me so off guard. I was like, all right.
And look, I respect that law, and it's there for a very good reason. That said, who here does not hate getting stuck behind that damn thing? It's like, son of a bitch, man. Like, really? Come on. And then I can never see how many kids are at any given bus stop. So it puts out its little stop signs, right? And you're kind of waiting. And in my head, I'm just like, what the hell is taking these kids so long to get on the bus? Just get on the goddamn bus so we can get moving again.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't really say that out loud. You just kind of drum your fingers impatiently a little bit. My daughter's always like, just honk. I'm like, no. I'm like, listen, that is the last thing.
I was
Or like, so for me, it's more annoying when you're driving and you see the bus and it's like, you see it start to slow down. It's like, don't put the sign out. Don't put the sign out.
Don't do it, man.
It's like when you're on a water break during a 2-a-day and you see that coach like holding his whistle. It's like, don't blow it. Don't blow it.
I'm on a 2-lane road in the 28 the other night, and it's dark, so I can't really see. But the bus in front of me stops at not an intersection stop, just one of the bus stops along the way on a 2-lane road. I cannot pass this bus. I am behind it. It is taking forever. I have let off about 7 F-bombs. Like, what in the freaking doing, man? You know? And then I see this woman in a wheelchair, and she's got like a flag on top of her wheelchair, and she's obviously older. And she's got an electronic, like wheelchair
like
thing.
a rascal?
Yeah, well, no, more like it's a wheelchair, right. But it's like, she got a joystick on the thing.
I can hear you cussing.
But it's raining.
Oh,
and she's getting dumped on, and it's night. I'm just like, I am such an ass. I am such an ass. They just had to let the ramp down.
Like, they got to lower it down. Right. So, you get stuck behind that bus. It's going to take a second.
Here I am cussing this old woman out who's, poor thing's got to,
getting rained on.
Right,
here you are.
Getting poured on in a wheelchair. And
I've done it too, because there's a city bus stop right in front of the apartment complex I live in.
Yeah.
So, where the bus stops, it blocks part of the driveway.
I know exactly.
So you can't really go out around it because you don't know what's coming. And same thing. You're just like, what takes so long? And then you see it raising up and raising down. It's like, I'm just yelling at handicapped people.
My bad. Yeah. I'm so sorry.
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
I feel like they should change the saying to the road to hell is paved with impatience.
Correct.
Because you're always screaming and stuff, and you're like, oh God.
That's my bad.
So sorry.
And look, I get when you're in your car, you're in your own little world.
Mm-hmm.
So, you say a lot of stuff.
Oh, yes, you do. Colorful stuff.
Yeah, a lot of words you don't use in public.
No, that's why you got to be careful with kids in the car.
You have to remember that the kids are in the car.
We can do a whole show for 4 hours, and I'm fine. And then I'll get in the car, and my kids were little, and I could not, for the life of me, cut my tongue off.
Right.
I couldn't do it. My kids, I look in the rearview mirror, and they're both back there with their mouths wide open, like,
oh, my kids, man. I'm telling you, I get home and you should have heard what Mom said in the car today. I'm like, I can guess. You don't need to. A lot of the words started with F. I'm like, I understand. One had an M and an F. I'm like, I understand, guys. I understand that you were entertained. I know what she said. It's fine.
I'm amazed you could do the show. What did your son say after Miles took him golfing?
Oh, yeah. So, hey, man, I was golfing with Mr. Miles. I was fun. Man, he cusses a lot.
Well, it's a golf course.
It's your speech outside of the 4 hours we work. Sometimes it's just like, dude, I don't want to be this person, but it's a lot for even this restaurant.
Well, you know why they call it golf, right?
Why?
Because every other 4-letter word was taken.
That's a good one.
Yeah. It's a frustrating sport.
It is.
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dawn. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
So I don't know. I was about 8 or 10 years old, and I was around this corner at a neighbor's house. We were playing, and hang on. And
she's making a left.
At least you use your signal.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So the kid's dad was doing remodeling, so we had a tarp down over the garage, and the garage door wasn't on there, and me and my friend were, writing on it. We were cutting holes in it, putting our names on it and stuff. And he came out, and he saw this, and he was mad. He was so mad. And he sent me home, and I wasn't supposed to be home yet. So I hid in the backyard. We had this old 54 car that was in a shed, and I got in it, I hid in it, I fell asleep, and I woke up to my name being yelled all around the neighborhood because all of the neighbors were out looking for me because they thought I had been stolen or I was lost. They didn't know what happened to me.
Why did you have to? You said you weren't supposed to be home yet, but you weren't cutting school, right?
No, it was, like I think it was probably a summer day, and I was over at Jeff's house, and I was only, I was supposed to be over there until like 5 o'clock, come home for dinner. And I got sent home before that, and so I didn't want to get in trouble because I got sent home early.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to cover your badness there. All right.
Correct, yeah. So I hid in the car, and I fell asleep. And when I woke up, the whole neighborhood is out looking for me.
So were they more relieved that you were okay, or did you still get in trouble?
Oh, I got in so much trouble. It was not even funny. Yeah, I couldn't go over to Jeff for a while. I was grounded. I got my butt beat. It was so much worse than if I had just gone home and said, "Hey, I did this."
Now, were you not allowed to go back to Jeff's house because your parents were mad, or because Jeff's dad's like, "Hey, your crazy ass daughter's like cutting up my tarp and stuff"?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say this right now. I don't think you should be going to Jeff's house.
It doesn't sound like you're being very responsible, Don. That's,
I don't know why. Just his name. It's like, what's her name?
Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn. You know what? No more Jeff's house, okay? You can't handle it.
Well, Jeff was my best friend. There were three of them at their house. There were three of us at our house, and we were all the same age, and Jeff, just happened to be a boy. And, I was a tomboy growing up.
Right, but this only happens when you go over to Jeff's. You don't act like that at home.
Right.
Did you and Jeff ever go to a dance together or anything as time went on?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Nope. We were best buddies, so.
Do you know where Jeff is now? Like, could you find him on Facebook?
Yeah.
All right, what is he up to now?
We're friends on Facebook. I don't know what he actually does, but he's married and he's got 2 kids and he's got grandkids and So,
sounds like Jeff's busy then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this real quick. Did you know that cutting through the tarp was bad, or were you just being a kid and really had no sense that this was not cool?
We were just being kids. We had, it didn't even occur to us that, it was, we were vandalizing something. We were just having fun.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Hey, man, I've been there. On the other side of that. Like, why does my father seem so angry? Me and my buddy were in the garage. We had a big-ass Pontiac Grand Am, and garage doors closed, but it was one that connected directly to the kitchen. No big deal, but we would climb on top of the car and then belly slide down the front onto the hood because the car was longer than any slide on any playground everywhere. We did not realize that the zippers from our jackets and pants were scratching the top of the hood.
Car.
No idea. Looking back, how stupid were we? Well, we were that stupid. But I remember my father walked out into the garage, not even looking for us, saw what we were doing, and went ballistic. And I could not understand what the problem was. And then even when he's pointing at the hood, trust me, he was very detailed to explain what it is that you've done wrong. In my mind, because kid logic, like, repaint it. I see you do it to the wall, man. You're the one who hit the living room wall with the coffee table when you're moving it. You repainted it. Oh, yeah. No problem. Why don't you just do that? You just don't get it. But whether I understood or not, the one thing I did comprehend was, don't do this again.
Okay.
This is bad.
Okay, speaking of hood car.
Yeah.
My buddy Jeff, all right, so his dad had a Chrysler.
You know what, Miles? I don't want you going over to Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff.
What is it with this Jeff guy?
Oh, Jeff.
Jesus.
Same thing with his dad had a Chrysler New Yorker, which was their big ass
equally as long, right?
I mean, the hood on that car was 8 feet
and begging to be played with.
And he and Jeff's dad would let him take, because he drove like a Dodge Omni, but he would let Jeff take the car for the weekend to go out on a date with his girlfriend Wendy. This was Jeff's first real girlfriend, and they were pretty tight, 16, 17 years old, or whatever the deal was. Well, Jeff came. That car normally was always.
Oh yeah, I remember that car.
It was always
it's a big ass.
Yeah,
car.
It was always in the garage. All right,
no elements, nothing.
But in this case, because Jeff took the car, he pulled it out. So his mom pulled it in the garage. So Jeff, when he came back, he parked the car in the driveway, and his dad gets up the next day, and I don't know if it was the dew. I don't know if it was the humidity in the air. I don't know what it is. But in the middle of the hood of the car, there was a huge ass print, right?
Oh.
2 cheeks. And then there's two handprints on the top of the hood and what looked to be like the back of the head, in between the two handprints. That was the last time that Jeff was ever allowed to take the New Yorker for the weekend. His dad grabbed him and he's like, you are not going to believe this. It was perfectly imprinted in the hood of the car. He's like, my hands, her head, her ass cheeks. Right. I was like, I had to see. He's like, he already wiped it off, man. I was like, I had to see this. He's like, no, we can't go in there, man. He's like, I'm not allowed to use the car anymore. I was like,
I mean, to his credit, at least he didn't have sex in the car.
Yeah, I mean,
no. I mean, the hood was so big.
As far as it could have been both.
You could have had sex with 8 people in the hood of that car. What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
See the latest designs from your favorite brands, including Thermador, at your local Ferguson showroom.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
You're in big trouble on this one. A teenage boy, he is facing numerous charges after allegedly stealing a school bus from a Nashville public school, driving recklessly through West Nashville, leading police on a pursuit along I-40 on a Saturday afternoon. 14-year-old took the bus at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The boy, who is living in a home, is in state custody, I guess. He hit the diesel fuel pump at a market, according to officials. He tried to run over a person at that market.
Okay, that's bad.
Then he drove onto a parkway. He hit another car in the process. They followed the bus onto the interstate where it traveled at speeds of 60 to 65 miles an hour. They had to use a spike strip to get the to get the guy to stop the bus.
Yeah, get him to stop the bus.
Exactly. At that point, authorities said they ran up to the bus, broke the glass door, used a taser on the boy because he was still trying to operate the bus, and then arrested him without further incident.
Keep in mind, the spike strip did not stop the bus. He saw the spike strip, basically slammed on the brakes, and tried to pull a Yui. That's when they had to run into the bus, break through the glass door, and tase his ass.
Then we got a 12-year-old in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He was, he led police on a chase after stealing a forklift. He hit 10 vehicles along the way. Police were called for a report of a stolen construction vehicle. A few minutes later, police found the vehicle, a forklift being driven south on Brook Street. Police then began pursuing the forklift at speeds of about 15 to 20 miles an hour with emergency lights and sirens blaring. Eventually, the driver, the 12-year-old boy, took the vehicle through a neighborhood, striking 10 parked cars. He stopped the vehicle at about 8 o'clock in the evening. He was taken into custody. He was later housed at a juvenile detention center.
Yeah, I bet he was. I bet he was, which is better than going home.
Our question, what was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Todd. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen. How are you?
Hola. Doing well, man.
Well, let me start by saying this particular story has a very happy ending, but it was a crappy story. And unfortunately, you don't have a long enough show to cover my entire juvenile record, so I'll just tell you this one.
Now, do you actually have a juvenile record?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And it came back to haunt me a couple of years ago as a 50-something-year-old adult, but another story altogether.
Okay.
So some friends of mine and I, a long time ago, 15, broke into a church about 6 nights in a row because this church had a lot of beer in it.
Had a lot of beer?
So,
was that a Catholic church?
I don't know.
I'm telling you.
I grew up Catholic.
It's a Catholic church.
I was telling Mike the other day, I know some Christians now are kind of against booze. I'm like, go to a Catholic church. Yeah. Part of it.
This particular church, this guy, the preacher or minister or whatever, he was notorious for having a lot of booze. So it was kind of the highlight was to get into either the church or his garage, steal a bunch of booze, and get away. But unfortunately, we had one of the so-called friends got caught by his mom, who was a King County cop.
Oh.
And he ratted us all out. And we did, well, I don't know what the rest of them did, but I did 6 months for it. Now,
wow.
The unfortunate thing about this, but this is where the happy ending comes in, is between arrest and sentencing, I met a girl when I was 16 that absolutely changed my life and I stopped doing all of that stuff. But during the 6 months, I unfortunately lost her. We were teenagers. But fast forward 38 years, 37 years, something. I don't really want to give away ages, but her and I got back together, and we're now getting married in August.
You got to be kidding.
That's crazy. All right. That is
so,
crazy.
if you don't mind my asking, and even if you do, I'm going to ask, how did your juvie record come back to haunt you? You said you're in your 50s now. Like, what other than murder, like, what is it?
Do you have a felony record that affected, like, a job or something?
It was buying weapons.
Really? So even if it's on your juvie, you can't purchase a firearm?
Yeah, here's a little known fact. When you turn 18, your juvenile record does not get sealed.
Yeah, we know.
Like a lot of people think.
That's because they always say that. But it's like you could pay to get something expunged. All you did was spend money. It is not expunged.
Were there weapons in the church?
Oh, yeah. No. This was just stealing beer. No, I had several years ago purchased a lot of weapons, went through background check, through the FBI, whatever, and got cleared. But then I went for another gun purchase, got denied, sent the ATF an email saying, why did I get denied? I've purchased several weapons recently and sent the email. And when I sent the email, I went, uh-oh.
Maybe you gave up too much information.
So did they come and knock on your door?
The very next day, I had 2 ATF agents at my door.
And what are they? Are they like, hey, man, we even hate to do this kind of thing, but you let us know, or what?
The funny thing is, as soon as I sent the email, I knew that was going to happen, so I took all of my guns, took them over to a buddy's house, put them in his safe, didn't want to know the combination. He didn't tell me the combination, And when they showed up, I told them that. They called him, got his information, ran it. He was cleared. And they said, hey, you're good.
Okay.
Clear all your stuff up. You can have him back. And so I spent a better part of a year going around to different police departments that I'd been arrested at, and there were a lot of them. And, giving them notice that I was applying for sealed records and firearms rights restoration and all that. And so then I finally had to go back to the very courtroom that I used to go to as a kid down in King County a lot.
Memories.
Yeah, oh, God. And the funny thing is, when the judge didn't even talk to me, but he finally just said, yeah, you're good. The prosecutor came over to me, and she said, okay, you're good, you can go. And I looked at her and I said, well, this is going to sound a little silly, but how do I get out of here? And she said, what are you talking about? I said, I've been here a lot, but I went through that door with handcuffs.
I've never actually walked out of court.
I never walked out of that courtroom free. But yeah, so it all turned out well. Like I said, I'm getting married in August to this back when we were teenagers, girl that changed my life, and now she changed my life again, and I'm going to marry her and not let her go.
Nice. That's a good story. Yeah. Well, at least it had a happy ending.
I'm curious to know, do you think if you applied for a job at the ATF, knowing that they dig that deep even to your juvie record, even if you were qualified to do whatever you're applying for, do you think they'd give you the job, or do you think your juvie record, they'd be like, look, we're aware of it, we can't do it?
Well, here's the thing. They sealed, I got my record, juvenile record sealed, but federally, they can still pull it open if they want.
Yeah.
At the state level, they can't anymore without warrants or whatever they got.
Whatever they need, right.
But yeah, because I was denied access to a job at a courthouse down in Tacoma a long time ago. We were going to do some night electrical work, and they pulled that up, and they said, okay, this guy is not coming in. And my boss called me back and said, do you have something you want to tell me? So I had to go through the whole explanation with him, but there was also another incident during the LA riots that came
Jesus
up as well.
Christ, man.
Wow. Okay. Good time.
You're like Forrest Gump. I feel like you could watch, video of anything that's happening. Like, there he is again.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got picked up for, and this is important to hear the whole thing, or the little bit. We got picked up for assault on a police officer with a deadly weapon during the Rodney King riots.
Well, yeah, that would do it.
We were arrested, but we never did get charged. So,
okay. Were you involved in that? Were you actually involved in that?
Oh,
Yes.
All
right. Yeah. Okay.
We didn't actually assault any police officers with deadly weapons. It was a whole thing, but that's a story for another show.
Which assault him with?
Your mouth?
A non-deadly weapon.
What's that?
So did you say something to the guy?
Oh, no, we got, the cops got called because my buddy and I had the music too loud. They showed up. We had guns. He was showing me his gun collection. And at the time that they were trying to figure out what to do with us, apparently, from what I remember, one of the sheriffs in the helicopters got shot in the neck. So they were in a panic to get out of there. And so they just said, screw it, charge these guys, charge them both, and let's get out of here. So, but then a couple days later, of course, spending a couple days in Pasadena County Jail, a couple of detectives finally let us out and said, no charges. So now when I finally got to my Army unit after that, because I was late, they were very entertained by the story.
Damn, dude. So, okay. All right.
It was good times.
Yeah.
Write a book. Just do us a favor. just write a book, and just each chapter, just title it, Why I Got Arrested This Time.
Yeah, every chapter is just a different arrest story.
Yeah, that's all.
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Kenny. Welcome to the men's room.
What's up, fellas?
Hola.
Hola. So I'm about like 10 years older than both Steve and Miles, so I grew up...
You're going to die soon.
You're going to die before we do. You're going to die.
I know, right? Well, I got the same bad habits as you guys, so we got that going for us.
Cool.
So
Cool.
I grew up in the days where, you get beat with, whatever was handy, right?
Whatever's closest.
I spent the bulk of my adolescent years on restriction. I I wasn't a bad kid. My stepdad was just super, super strict. And, you know, I was just a smart ass, and I tended to poke the bear, if you know what I mean.
What were his main rules as far as strictness goes?
Just anything. He was miserable with his job and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the one time, the funny thing is, one time me and my next younger brother took a baseball that my dad had. It was autographed, but it was like some minor league player nobody had ever heard of. And we decided we're going to go out and play catch. And we're out, you know, throwing the ball around. We're out in the street, and so it's getting scuffed up on the pavement, you know, and it, you know, goes in the grass and gets grass stains on it, whatever. My dad comes home from work and finds the ball, and he sits me and my brother down. He says, okay, I'm going to give you boys two choices. You're going to get a whooping with the belt, or you get 2 weeks of restriction. And I'm just like, I'm freaking tired of restriction. I said, I'll take the belt. And my brother says, I'll take the restriction. So I took the belt, and I mean, him and my mom used to square dance. He wore these belts that were like 3 inches wide. They were huge.
You need that to square dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know. I don't know why. You know, it's the whole country thing. But I took the whooping. My brother, I remember like 2 days in after, you know, my butt still hurt, but I kept walking past my brother sitting in his room going, nah, I'm not on restriction.
He's probably like, yeah, but I can sit down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, I don't remember what my brother said, because my brother was a very good kid. But, you know, he's 16. He's going to push back a little bit. And I don't remember even what started the situation, but my father's not happy with my brother. And it did not need to escalate. But my brother said something to my father, probably out of character for my brother. And clearly, my father didn't care for this. So I just hear my brother's bedroom door shut. And there's no yelling, but you can hear clearly it's my father's voice. And I do not know what he said to this day. And he was only in there for like 2 minutes, didn't lay a hand on him, nothing like that, all right? The door opens. My father goes back upstairs whistling, which means he's in a fine mood. And I peek into my brother's room, man, and he's just sitting in the corner of his bed sobbing. And I'm like, man, he looks at me and just shook his head like, no. And I made a mental note, don't backtalk to this man. Because I don't know what was just said, but it scared the living bejesus out of my brother, man. And I was like, noted.
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Esther. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hola.
Hola. So I have a weird situation, or had a weird situation. I was about 14, and I was dating this guy in high school, and he broke up with me for someone else. And that someone else ended up living in the apartment complex that I lived in at the time. And I figured out who she was, and I went and stole her dog.
You stole her dog?
Stole her dog?
Her little chihuahua.
Esther. Jesus. Wow, man. How long did you manage to keep this dog?
It was only 2 days.
And how did you get, I'd assume your parents or your mom's like, where did you get the dog from?
My dad.
Okay, so.
Yep, my dad did. And then everybody started getting all antsy and scared because, you know, we're all teenagers. So one of my friends was like, you need to go forward and let them know. And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, because I'm going to get in trouble. You know, I'm 14. I know that I could probably go to jail. Of course, it wasn't jail, but I could go to jail. And my dad comes home the third day, after the third day of having the dog. My dad's like, I heard, because my dad worked for the apartment complex, so I didn't even know why I did. I guess just being a teenager, I guess I was just being dumb. And my dad came home the third day and had heard about what happened and knew that I had the dog. So he told me either I could get out and go live with my mom, or I can take the dog back, apologize, and confess. So I confessed. I did 4 days in juvenile. And the person's parents, they did not press any charges. So luckily I didn't get it on my record, but
that means they hated that dog.
They gave you 4 days for stealing the dog?
4 days, yes. I did. It was my first offense, and I was like crying profusely every single day during seeing my public offender and everything, and I got out in 4 days. I don't even know the logistics behind that. I thought I was going to be, you know, at 14, I was like, I'm going to do a year, you know, and I was like crying out crazy. But yeah, I only did 4 days, and the parents didn't press. It was supposed to be a residential burglary. They said that they didn't want to press charges since they got their dog back.
and I was out.
How did you break into? Did you pick the lock? I mean, what was your skill set that allowed you to break into the apartment?
Zero skill set. I went in through an open window.
Okay. And
was the dog nice to you?
It didn't even bark. It was a little chihuahua. I remember the black and white chihuahua. It didn't even bark at all. I just took it. It's weird.
I mean, I guess that's the wild.
I've never seen this dog ever either.
So what was your plan? Just go in there and steal something, and then you saw the dog, and the dog was your crime of opportunity?
Yeah.
Jesus God.
If I remember right, that was a while ago, but if I remember, I think I was going to do something petty, like take her left shoe or something like that, something stupid, just because I was upset and hurt that I got dumped for that girl. But yeah, I seen the dog, and I don't even know where my brain was at. Automatically steal the dog.
So I guess your ex-boyfriend really was not happy with you at this point, too.
Oh, absolutely not. No. I have never even talked to him since that happened. Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't, but...
Because you're a dog napper. Mm-hmm. You stick with the left shoe.
Did you ever run into that girl and her parents and the dog in the building?
Never. Surprisingly, never.
All right, I got one more question.
And I remember her name was Bobby. Thinking about it now, the situation, I'm like, that is weird.
Yeah, a little weird.
Never seen her, never seen her parents, nothing. I went to juvenile at 4 days and came back, and I've never seen them. I've never even seen my ex again. He actually blocked me on MySpace, but...
old school
on MySpace.
Oh, yeah.
How's your mom doing if you'd rather do 4 days at juvie than go live with mom?
She was doing some crazy stuff with unfortunately, two men at the time. And so there was a whole bunch of custody battles, and my dad got custody, and she was just kind of a POS mom.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Damn, man. Stole their dog.
That's
I know. I tried to laugh.
That wasn't the plan. That's the part that blows my mind. Like, you just want to do something petty.
You know what I'm going to do?
I'm taking your dog.
I mean, in retrospect, we stole some CD cases from parties.
Yeah.
But you think about how big those are. That was probably hundreds of dollars.
You ever steal a dog?
No, we never stole a dog.
Yeah, me neither.
I would be scared to steal somebody's dog. Like, I know I've met your dog.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel confident just showing up and taking that dog.
If I'm not home, yeah, you don't want to go.
Right?
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Shall I take your order, or do you need a minute?
Yes, I'll be ready. Just buying a car on Carvana.
What?
It's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do was answer a few questions.
What? That's handy.
Yeah, now I'm customizing my down and monthly payments.
What? That's an exquisite deal.
And just like that, Carvana's delivering my car in a couple days.
What?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'll have the burrito.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval. Delivery fees may apply.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. Like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
A new year is full of surprises, but one thing is always predictable. Postage costs go up. Stamps.com gives you crazy discounts of up to 89% off USPS and UPS services. So when postage goes up, your business will barely notice the change. Stamps.com is like your own personal post office, wherever you are. You can even take care of orders on the go with the mobile app. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Schedule package pickups, automatically find the cheapest and fastest shipping options, and seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart. There's even a supply store where you can stock up on mailing supplies, labels, even printers. Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses just like yours. All you need is a computer or phone and printer. Take a chunk out of your mailing and shipping costs this year with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com code PROGRAM.
9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Sir, Daily Steve Mix on the way. The Daily Mix Morning Show joining us. We'll sit and spin. We've got 10 bands with self-titled songs, whatever.
I like sound.
Yeah.
This sound is called Nirvana.
It's called Bang. Boom. Yes. We have bands with self-titled songs coming up right after emails on our question. What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
A couple of quick texts. Here says, thrill and fairness, you did kidnap someone, though. Talking about Esther who stole the dog. Hey, we're not here to talk about me. It's about Esther.
And that guy got out the next day. Esther kept that dog for 2 nights.
Yeah, who's weird now? And somebody says, I got into trouble for running a strip poker game on the school bus. I was 15. Best part was my mom was the bus driver.
Oh.
We continued. Damn. Got suspended from school, kicked off the bus, again, by his mom. My ass beat by my parents, and now the girl that was part of it is actually a stripper. See, there you go.
All right.
You all right, Ted? Yeah, I mean,
hey, just saying, you know.
Yeah. Still should be doing that on the bus.
No. Mm-hmm. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I was 16. My parents went away to Reno for the weekend, and I was messing around in the garage, and I saw an ashtray that was upside down, which was unusual. So I lifted it up to see what it was, and it was the keys to the 84 Corvette that was in the garage.
Okay.
So me and a buddy, we decided to go for a ride around the block, big block, out in Bothell. So we went down the road, did a little fishtail around this corner, and went tearing down the road about 91. And I looked in my mirror, and I saw red and blue lights.
Oh, man.
So I'm freaking out. I didn't know what to do. So started just doing the speed limit, headed towards home. I didn't know what to do, freaking out. I didn't want the cop thinking I'm trying to evade. So I just pulled over about a half mile from the house. And it was an off-duty cop. And he ended up just ticketing me for reckless driving and then just let me walk home. Meanwhile, he's taking pictures of the car. And once I get back to my house, I get in my car and I drive past him. And I see the tow truck and everybody there doing their thing, and I'm just freaking out. I don't know what to do. So
you prepared to die.
Yeah, I ended up going to another buddy's house who had friends that were in town who were looking for some LSD, and they found it, and they were going to go on their way back to Utah, Salt Lake City, to sell it. So I was like, I'm freaking out. I'm coming with you.
Oh,
so
man.
I went back to my house.
Jesus.
I went back to my house, grabbed some clothes, stole the stereo equipment out of the stereo cabinet so I could hawk it later once I got there, and then went down to Salt Lake City, stayed there for about a week. After about 3 or 4 days, I called home, let them know that I was okay and everything and where I was, and they were not happy with me.
You don't say.
Yeah. So my dad and a neighbor friend flew down one way. They fixed my car because the Cadillac converter went out halfway down there. So they fixed that, and then we drove back home. And, yeah, that was that. That was not fun.
Okay, and this convoluted mess that you created for yourself. First of all, shame on your parents for leaving the keys anywhere that you could possibly find them. Because I would say out loud, babe, our son is 16, he has his license, and we have a Corvette. Like, we have to take them with us, all right? So,
yeah, in hindsight.
Was he angrier that you took the car? Was he angrier that you stole the stereo equipment? Was he angrier that you ran off to Salt Lake City?
All of the above. Yeah.
Did you do the acid?
They were happy that I was okay once I called them and let them know I was okay. They were happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, you're very, very look. Your kid's health and safety trumps everything. Of that, there's no question. But that does not mean we're not going to kill you when we get that chance.
Right.
Like I'm glad.
It turns out once I did get back home, my dad bought me a motorcycle so I would stay out of trouble.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I don't know that that's what I would do, but credit to your dad for doing it. What is the car ride back like with your dad? No, he stole his Corvette.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. It just was. I couldn't wait to get back home.
How many hours is that drive?
It's about 14, 15 maybe.
Oh, wow. Did you do acid when you were in Salt Lake City?
Oh, yeah, on the way down there, yeah.
See,
Yeah,
to me,
with
with all of that on my shoulders, I do not think that would be an enjoyable experience. I would really mentally process.
He said it wasn't.
I mean, like, this is a terrible. All these things that I did culminated in, and this acid is the icing on the cake as far as bad decisions. There are times when you should do that. There's times when you definitely shouldn't. You don't take acid to a funeral,
right?
You know what I mean? Like,
how long?
Yeah.
How long had your parents been back home? Because you said you called after 3 or 4 days, but how many days had they been back from their trip before you made contact?
My older sister met him at the airport and informed them at that time.
So you told her, "Look, I'm going to Utah. I screwed up."
I didn't know. I didn't see her. I didn't tell her nothing. Me and my sister never got along, so I just bailed. But she was able to connect all the dots and why the cabinet was missing and all the stereo equipment, car was gone. She was able to connect the dots.
Okay.
Wow, man. That's just a series of bad decisions.
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
I mean, that's just.
So I stole the stereo equipment. Like, yes, make it worse.
Yeah, let's go sell that. Because, I mean, in theory, right, I forget, did he say he crashed the car?
No, he did not crash.
Right.
Pulled
so
him
the car
over.
was going to get back home.
It was, but now Dad knows you've taken the car because they impounded it. So that's his initial panic, right?
I'm just saying, in retrospect, and I get it, he's a teenager.
Sure,
but it's
sure.
like, right. So now we're going to steal stereo equipment and go on a 2 states over, 15-hour drive.
Yeah.
Like, I at that point, I'd be super pissed.
Well, I think that I get the 16-year-old mind, right? It's his dad's Corvette. So without ever having met his father, I assume that is his baby, right?
Yeah.
So you're thinking, oh, man, he's going to kill me, which he is. But then in your 16-year-old mind is, I must run away from home. I would rather never see my family again than deal with the wrath that's going to come down from my car getting towed.
What was the most trouble that you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Nate. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hola.
Yeah, so I think I was about 14, and I decided to start stealing cars.
Cool. Was this
And
influenced by anyone, or is this just something you wanted to do?
I was, I had been initiated into a local gang, so it was, I was
part of your duty, right?
I was trying to show off to my OGs.
All right.
If you, so to speak. Anywho, I was off doing one of my runs, and the police showed up, obviously, at one point, and I ran down the block. They had the dogs with them and everything. I got chased by dogs.
How far did you make it running from dogs?
About a block and a half. And then I don't know if you're familiar with the South Seattle area, Seward Park area, but a lot of streets turn into stairs and stuff like that.
They sure do.
And there are a lot of hills, and I decided to cut down one hill, and I just slid down the whole hill, and that's when the dogs caught up to me.
Now, what do they do when do they bite on your leg? Like, what are they trained to do to stop you?
They actually didn't bite on me because I think the officers were right there. I don't remember getting bitten. I just remember getting my clothes grabbed and getting drugged about 3 or 4 feet, and then the dogs got called off of me, and then I got handcuffed and whatnot and put in the back of the car.
Aren't you really glad at that point when the cops show up with handcuffs? Like, it's just such a better alternative to the dogs.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I had a couple of friends who had Rottweilers that were not friendly and been bit by them. And so that's immediately what came to my mind when I was running from these German Shepherds. But yeah, and then oddly enough, though, the officers decided to just call my parents instead of taking me right to juvie. And this is where I got into the most trouble I ever been in, because they got a hold of my dad. My dad answered the phone, and hello, Mr. We have your son, and he just got busted for car prowling, and we want to know what you want to do with him. And my dad, I heard him over the speaker. He said, I don't care what you do with him, just don't bring him here.
That's good news for you.
Well, I mean, did that make you feel better or worse?
It made me feel a little bit better, but worse at the same time because I spent 3 days in county.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when you get out of 3 days of county, now you still have to face your dad. Was county worse than your father, or was your father worse than county?
I don't know how to put this, but my dad's kind of a softie.
All right.
So I would say county was worse. Because I don't know how to put it, but it was, that was my awakening. That's when I straightened up my life. Actually, at a very young age, I decided that county was not fun.
Yeah, known for that.
And Pops was, as much as he wanted to slam me, he never did, and basically just had to spend the next 2 months in the house.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not the worst.
It's not the worst, but
no, it wasn't the worst. The worst was going to county and having like the guy, you know.
we got you. His Jello.
Once again, bedroom colors. Here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
He summed it up nicely.
Yeah, exactly.
Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
See, that's the difference. Your parents might be mad, but they're not going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're a lockup like this guy, like, I don't know you. I got no biological relation. I want your Jello. Like, oh, man.
Yeah.
The worst you get from your parents, like, who ate the last of the Jello? Maybe they're mad, but that's the beginning and end of it, right? Sure. Not, I'm going to take this straight and hit you across the face and pummel you because you ate my Jello.
Yeah, and that jail in Baltimore is awful.
Yeah,
3 days, right? Like, I mean, I can't explain it to people. When somebody just looks at you, right? And I'm just trying to stay quiet.
Sure.
Right? But I'm one of 3 white guys in the entire jail, right? Like, I'm not a tough guy. Right? So I'm just trying to stay quiet. A couple dudes will just get the F out of the way. So, but after a while, you start chatting to some people, and then the one guy just looks at me. He goes, I know you're scared. Before I say it, I go, what? He goes, I know you're scared. You ain't eating much, and I can tell you like to eat.
Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, that's the truth, though, right?
Baltimore is blatantly honest, as you would say, Steve.
Yeah. I was like, do you want my cookies? Yes, I want your cookies. Here you go.
You actually offered them first.
Oh, Jesus. I gave away everything. He's right. I don't think I ate for the 3 days I was in there.
You want my cookies?
Right. I was like, God, I don't know. Like, I don't care. Just please, God, leave me alone.
Right. My cookies.
What was the most trouble you got into growing up? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rhonda. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hola.
So when I was about 16, it seems to be a theme.
Yeah.
My best friend and my boyfriend and her boyfriend were leaving the bowling alley because there wasn't much to do around here, and decided to have them ride on the hood of my car.
This was a conscious decision.
Yes.
All right. And how far were you going?
Not very far, and I wasn't even going very fast, but I went around a curve, and they went flying off. And at first we thought they were okay, but by the time we got back to her house, we realized that my boyfriend was very much not okay. And we ended up having to call 911. And the police came, and the ambulance came, and the fire truck came. And by the way, my grandfather lived in the neighborhood that my friend lived in. So he ended up with a massive concussion, my boyfriend. He no longer could play football.
Oh.
My parents found out. My insurance made me take a reckless driving class.
That's fair.
Yeah. My punishment was I had to take care of my boyfriend the whole summer because he spent weeks throwing everything up.
Oh, God. Did he have any long-lasting damage from that? Sometimes that stuff can shake you for a long time.
He did. He ended up never playing football again.
Well, you don't want to risk another concussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But, it was bad, and I don't know why we did.
Because you were 16.
Right.
I've ridden on the hood of a car once, and guess how old I was? I was 16. I did not get injured, but that's the only time I've ridden on. And we learned not to do it again. When he slammed on the brakes, you start to understand the laws of physics a little bit, right? Yeah. And it sucked and it hurt. Did not get injured, but yes, I also was about 16, 17 years old when I did it.
I had friends that would ghost ride their cars when we were kids.
Right. At about 16?
Exactly, because you're stupid and you don't gather the consequences of your actions.
I remember having a graduation party from high school, I think. And I remember my mom saying, "Is that your cousin on the roof of that car as they're leaving?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I mean, you're right, though.
Well,
Teenagers.
16-year-old girls. So So these are not necessarily things that I want them to know.
Well, look.
Hey, look,
as long as you understand
don't have
the
to
age
tell
they are.
them. Did your parents tell you that? No. There's something that happens when you're 16. Like, whatever you've accrued intellectually in your first 16 years of life, you throw it out the window. Like, people talk about the terrible twos. I don't worry about the twos because they're not going to do anything stupid. You just got to keep your they get an attitude. 16 is about the age that I worry.
I think that's an all right story to tell them because it's like, listen, like my boyfriend never got to do some stuff he wanted to do again.
Yeah, those are the stories you do tell. Like, hey, this is why you should. It's going to come up. Don't do it.
Correct.
Hello. Oh boy. Hello, drama. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, cola.
Hola.
Yep. So the most trouble I got in was when I was in senior in high school, and it was homecoming week. I was late to class, opening class. Teacher was like, "Hey, you're late," and I was like, "I know, sorry." And he's like, "Yep, you have detention," because I had been late before. And I was like, "All right." And he's like, "You're gonna have to come in after school and do it." And I was like, "Well, I have practice for football after school. If I can't do it, can I come in the morning, tomorrow morning, and make it up beforehand?" He's like, "No, it has to be after school." And I said, "The coach tells us if we're late to practice, we don't practice. If we don't practice or we miss the practice, we don't play in that week's game." I tried to explain to the teacher, "This is homecoming week, my senior year. I'll never have another one. Please be reasonable." And he's like, "That's not my problem. You shouldn't have been late." And I was like, "All right." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to come in." He's like, "Well, then I'm going to have to tell your coach that you're not going to be able to make it." Long story short on that one, he was being unreasonable. I got pissed off. And you guys remember in high school, the desk chair combos, how they were connected?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I grabbed one of those and I threw it at his head in the corner.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble. Get you in trouble. Did you make contact with him?
I was surprised because he was a pear-shaped, out-of-shape old man, and he actually ducked.
I didn't expect to miss you. Nimble.
No, I didn't expect to miss him, so it was kind of frustrating. But my mindset was like, well, if I'm not going to be able to practice and miss the whole homecoming game, I'm going to make it worth my while. But I was scared because I was one of the kids my senior year. Like, I was 18 in my senior year. And so the reason why I was scared and the most trouble I got in, both my parents, they were divorced at the time, but both my parents showed up to school. I had King County Sheriff show up to school, and I was like sitting there when they called me, down to the office, and I saw my parents there. They just looked at me. I was like, oh, man, they give you the eye of death, and the sheriffs were there. And then I was really scared because I was 18, and I thought, well, I might be tried as an adult for assault.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was hella scared, and they sat me down. The bottom line, I got suspended for 3 days. I still missed the football game, which sucks, but I'm sure that teacher, if he's still alive, will never forget, hey, I shouldn't have done that.
Did you
I shouldn't have done that.
Did you play the rest of the year?
I did get to play the rest of the year. I just missed homecoming week.
All right. That's the middle of the season.
I'm surprised you didn't get kicked out of the entire school.
Yeah, if you're talking about a playoff game or a championship game, I'd have,
The coach would side with you if you're in the championship game. It's amazing how that works.
The coach probably would have sided with me if it was championship, but yeah, I'm thinking hey, we only get one senior year for homecoming. Just be reasonable. That's all I was asking for this guy to be reasonable. But since he wasn't, like I said, he had the chair desk combo. But I said,
so you're still mad at the teacher about this?
No, absolutely.
Is he still a teacher at that school, I wonder?
Oh, well, no, this is many moons ago. I'm an older guy. So,
okay.
Why were you
based on the desk? Yes.
Why were you late again?
I don't know. I think something to do with my girlfriend, maybe making out and walking her to class.
Yeah, see, that's not on the teacher, man. I hear your position, but they got to do the thing, man. I mean, you got to stand your ground if you're at the point that you're the disciplinarian. Like, I'm not being unreasonable. It's not like you were late once.
Yep.
Right. You said you'd repeatedly been late, and the teacher knows where to hit you where it hurts, which is, I know it is homecoming week. You're not going to play this week.
And just because it was a good reason to you to be late, because, hey, wouldn't we all want to just be late?
I was getting a mouth hug.
You bet. But
I'm glad you asked him. I'm amazed he's still that pissy at the teacher.
Hey, that's my thought. Like, hey, learn from this, man.
Yeah, I don't think the teacher learned a lesson.
No.
I don't think he did either.
He may probably start going to the gym to learn to, be a little bit more.
That's right. Doing the ducks.
Like when George Bush dodged that shoe.
That shoe, yeah.
Like, man, that guy's got some move there. I was like, man, he's got some reflexes.
I'm sneaky fast. Look out.
10 bands with self-titled songs coming up. We'll sit and spin and we'll get your emails on the way next from the men's room at KISW.com.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Experience the Newport Seafood and Wine Festival from February 22nd through 25th. Enjoy over 50 Pacific Northwest wineries under one tent. Some of the best Oregon Coast seafood, over 70 local artisans, a beer garden, a seafood chowder competition, VIP tent, and live entertainment, including Sunny Hess, Sons of Beaches, Curtis Salgado, Ty Curtis, Randy McCoy, and Hectic Week. 1- and 3-day passes available now at newportchamber.org.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the men's room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Certain Spin coming up with 10 bands with self-titled songs. But first, time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
Bless you. Couple on getting in trouble, bitches. Back when I was 10, I found a book of matches in my aunt and uncle's house, took them and ran into their bedroom. They had a linoleum floor, and their bed set up pretty high, high enough I could crawl under it. I knew how the matches work, and I thought if I put a bunch on top of each other and light them, I'll get a really big flame. Under the bed was really dark, so I tore up the matches, piled them up, lit them on fire, and man, did it light up. My cousin saw what I was doing. He told on me. I got drug out from under the bed. My uncle flipped the bed over, stomped out the fire, one of the worst ass whoopings I got as a kid. Was not trying to burn the house down, just looking for a big flame with matches. That from the Elk Plain Drifter. Guys, this is so tame, but in elementary school, we learned about sex. And the dessert for lunch that day were popsicles. So my friend and I started making jokes about the phallic shape of the popsicle.
Mm-hmm.
Us two girls wound up in the principal's office. I was a guy. We were mortified. That was from Iris the bus driver. I graduated high school in 99. Super proud parent moment. My friends and I decided to drive around Tacoma shooting fireworks off until 4 a.m. Got pulled over. I was the driver. So they handcuffed me and put me in the back of the cop car. I was still 17, so my dad had to come claim me while in the back of the car. Very unproud moment. Unfortunately, my exchange student from Venezuela was with us, and they had to go to court to get her charges dropped. Jesus. The cops charged me and a couple friends with curfew violations or possession of fireworks. Fortunately, they just dumped out my friend's drugs and didn't charge us for that. I just had to pay a fine. Now we laugh about it. That from Midori. As we move on to the birthday emails, shout out to my friend Samantha on her birthday. Can she get a fish sandwich? A few of them. Thanks, guys. Keep making afternoon radio awesome. From the Woohoo Lady and the Yeah Guy. Our concert names. Thanks, guys.
Sir, I get a fish sandwich?
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
A filet of fish sandwich.
Shan is 26 today. He wants turtle sex, 3 Billy Joe IOs. What the hell's that?
No idea.
Bong Rip, a Leroy Jenkins, and the Dirty Germans talking about karaoke later on tonight. Shan, you gotta know we can't say all that stuff.
Hey, clown.
No.
Jesus.
I know.
Yeah, listen, we cannot exactly do what it is you've requested, at least not on the radio, but I'm hoping to join your boyfriend tonight if that's what he's looking forward to.
Yeah, so, back in the day, you used to play the game, right? So the little animal would pop up, and you'd have to swap him down.
Yeah,
whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole pops a weasel. This is the opposite. You make him disappear.
Yeah.
Fellas, can I get a birthday shout-out?
Good for that, dude. I wish I could tell you guys what she said.
I know.
Yeah.
Good for him, though. Seriously.
Yeah. All right. Fellas, can I get a birthday
sound
shout-out?
I would make.
Turning 46, can I have the captain and Dirty Germans talking about shooting balls at Top Golf tonight? Love the show. That from your local bartender, Bobby.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. The last time us mascots went to Top Golf, we had an outstanding time. But eventually Tony the Tiger was asked to leave because he was shooting balls without playing golf, if you know my meaning. Crunch berries. Yeah, we don't necessarily go to Top Golf. In Deutschland, we call it, I want to be on Top Golf.
Yeah, it's the funny thing is, you call it Top Golf, whatever. It mainly involves holding a lot of shafts.
Yeah. Swing away.
Yeah, it's the head of the driver.
But Charles, today is the birthday of my husband, David, a loyal listener, a huge wrestling fan, too. So if you could give him a fish sandwich medley and the Dirty Germans talking about how 46 is not the end of the world, I'd much appreciate it. Love, Rihanna. Thanks, guys, and have an awesome day.
Can I get
A filet of fish sandwich.
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? Put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
Or a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side. Oh, yeah. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon, and at night. Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Yeah, this is not the end of the world. You see, in Deutschland, for every age you turn, you do that position. So things end when you turn 70.
Yeah, so it sounds like the wife's there, you're there, we're there. We're going to have a new definition for the Gable grip.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to say a happy 48th birthday to Dr. Barnes. He has been an inspiration to so many on the Enumclaw Plateau. I bet Mike has actually met Tim. He would like to hear the Dirty Germans' advice about the differences of laying pipe in the 90s and now. Anything Coach Ted may have heard around the locker room about laying pipe. And some words from Miles for the future of pipe laying. Love your crew forever. Guys, that from Dan.
Yeah, as I recall, laying pipe in the 90s before I was married meant I laid multiple pipes, let's say, at multiple foundations. Well, lately it has been one.
Yeah, so back in the 90s, those pipes were all steel, rock hard. These days, some of them are plastic.
Yeah, or hoses. Garden hoses.
So those are weird ones.
It is weird.
All right, a laying pipe can mean a lot of things. I'm guessing you're probably taking somebody down or hitting them. You know what I'm saying? Something aggressive. You can use that in football, right? Assistant coach throw. Lay the pipe.
Hell yeah.
If not, hopefully he's compilating something nice with you tonight. Either way, apparently everybody in Enumclaw knows the guy, so if you do know him, know he's having sex tonight.
That's okay.
Get it done.
All right, Tim, I'm going to give you some laying pipe jokes here.
Did you know him, Mike?
I'm not positive.
The Tim and you.
All right. Everybody knows him.
Okay. Laying pipe. Husband says to his wife, "Why don't you tell me when you orgasm?" She replies, "I don't really like calling you when you're at work."
I'll let you know.
My girlfriend thought I'd be a pushover in bed, and wouldn't you know it, she had me pegged from the start. And a couple gets married on their wedding night. The wife asks what a penis is. The husband, surprised, pulls his out, and she says, "Oh, it's like a D, but smaller." All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Yes, friends, it's time once again for Sit and Spin. Let's gather around the old radio and listen to some swellerific new music.
Oh, look who it is. Sharon Daly, Steve Mix.
Top of the
Daily
afternoon
Mix
to you.
Morning Show. How are you?
Hello. So good. How about you guys?
We're doing great. Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Except for our Ravens past weekend, they got their ass kicked, so that was not good.
I was pulling for them. That was very disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, football's, I guess, come to an end, right?
Well, you got the last game, I guess.
Yeah, but everybody watches that.
We're still right.
It can sound like it's like some underground thing we're watching.
Yeah. You guys were on New Day Northwest yesterday?
Yes, with our friend Amity Idrisi.
Yes. What's it like being TV stars? We
so
saw it in
much
the
fun.
office. What would they have you guys doing down there?
Well, sometimes they will put powder on our faces so we're not shiny.
They usually do a lot on my head.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how much head work do they have to do?
I think they've been spending too much money on my head. So they said, you know what?
Just wear a hat.
We can't polish this.
The one time we were down there, we were in the chair as well. You know,
Oh, yeah.
to get rid of the glow.
Yep.
It's a new experience.
And we got to play a little kind of name that tune game, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but they read the lyrics. They didn't we didn't get to hear the music, so they just read the lyrics. And I'm just like, I'm not a lyric guy, so I was getting every single one wrong. So I just said, screw it. I'm going to guess stupid things. So I'm guessing Slayer. I'm guessing Chumbawamba. I'm guessing Sir Mix-a-Lot.
You want to guess who got every single one right?
Oh, let me guess.
Actually, there was one I didn't get, but other than that, I think I won the game.
So Beat Miggs is an easy game these days.
Well, I mean, Beat Miggs, if it's all music trivia, would be easy for me, yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, speaking of music, today we're going to get into the world of, I don't even know how to describe this.
Is it narcissism?
Yeah, is it ego? What is this?
Do you just have such a cool name that you should also do the song, right?
Yeah? Self-titled songs, is that what you kind of call it?
like you can play guitar. Let's just assume you play guitar, right?
Mhm.
And you sit down and you write a song that's called Taryn Daly.
Right.
I mean, if you play it for me at a party, I'm going to be like, what is going on with Taryn?
She's got quite the ego.
She just wrote a song about herself.
I would buy her a drink.
Right.
I'd be like, I love that.
It's one thing to write a song about your dog or, you know what I mean? Maybe your mom or your dad or something.
My follow-up song, Taryn Daly is awesome.
Man, is she good looking? Here we go. All right, 1, 2, 3. It just seems like
It is a little narcissistic.
But it was something that was done a number of times.
Yeah,
Where
and some of
bands-
these band names have really cool names. So I get it.
Band names, you can get away with it.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you have a really cool band name, like, yeah, dude, repeat it. I believe it. Like, Justin Timberlake has a new song out, but it is not called Justin Timberlake. That way, if you're a solo artist, you can't do it. You got a cool band name, like, go for it, right?
Yeah, Poison has to have a song called Poison.
They don't.
No, Belle Biv DeVoe, I think they
Belle Biv DeVoe.
Well, you brought
They
up
wrote it for them and they decided not to go with it.
You brought up like Chumbawamba. All right. Okay. Something just bizarre. Yes. Maybe a song out of that. But these are 10 bands with self-titled songs on Sit and Spin.
Number 10.
They were just hanging on for dear life at that point. They were.
Wow. They were a super group, though, right?
They were super. I had I've heard like 3 or 4 of their songs. Like, they're big hits. I had no idea that the damn Yankees wrote a song because they're not cool enough.
I think it was like with Jack Blades, guys from Night Ranger.
Yeah.
You had Ted Nugent in the band.
I get them confused
Tommy
with Mr.
Shaw,
Big.
maybe.
I'm like, is Steve Vai with them, or was it
Right, Mr.
Billy
Big's the other
Sheenan?
one.
Yeah, Tommy Shaw was in there.
Well, that Can You Take Me High Enough? That's
That
only
was
song
the one I
remember.
loved.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I like this one.
Coming to a fair near you.
They are on the fair circuit, I'm sure.
I don't think the Washington State Fair, though.
These are 10 bands with self-titled songs.
Number 9.
DOA.
Oh, I dig the tune.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fans' name is DOA. You're like, that's cool. Go ahead.
That
report.
should be a song.
For sure.
Yeah.
Van Halen did it.
They did a DOA. I was like,
exactly.
they wrote a song called Van Halen.
They'll be to vote too. No, I'm kidding.
These are 10 bands with self-titled songs.
Number 8. Chicago.
Wow.
Do you know about the phone booth that they used to have on stage?
No.
Back in the day? Yeah, back in the day, they had a phone booth on stage that was like a prop, but inside that phone booth was just cocaine.
Oh.
And so they would each take a little turn. Come on, go see.
Oh, no.
Go
Are
see
you
about
kidding
it.
me?
I am not joking. Look it up. It's crazy.
Huh.
Those guys were tooting left and right. And I'm not talking about the horns. Yeah.
Peter Cetera was all yacked
crazy.
up.
Then why they write this crap?
And you would think you'd write something better if you're all yacked up on cocaine, man.
I had no idea this was Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of, hey.
I saw them at
We're real high.
At Chateau Saint Michel. No telephone.
There was no. I think they maybe retired it in the 80s.
Okay. All right.
Damn.
That's
so
your
awesome.
name is You're Terry. The inspiration, and I'm all yacked up. Okay. These are 10 bands with self-titled songs.
Number 7. Can't eat, mama.
Who in the hell
Is the Canned Heat Mama like the number one roadie or groupie for Canned Heat?
Oh, Canned Heat Mama.
Canned Heat Mama.
Candy Mama.
No, Canned Heat Mama.
Well, if they're going out to country, they need a mama
They
with
do.
them.
That's true. Like a chaperone.
Yeah.
Canned Heat Mama?
That's a great reference there, Ted.
Thanks.
I guess, yeah. No comment.
I mean, wouldn't you write a better song if it's going to have your band name? You know what I mean? Like, make it the coolest song you got, man. Not this.
Did they have a phone booth that we could go into?
No, they clearly did not.
They're just full of weed, dude.
Yeah.
Weed and acid.
A ton of weed and acid. Just hope it wasn't about a hookup. These are 10 bands with self-titled songs.
Number 6.
All right. I can dig this.
Are you guys familiar with this group?
Yeah, Don't Like Mondays.
I don't know this group.
Bob Geldof, he formed
The
Live
Boomtown
Aid.
Rats.
A couple other things back in the day. He was always known, but no one really knew, even who liked music, why he was known.
Right, you didn't know who he was exactly, and then you find out where he had his hands and all this different stuff. You're like, wow, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Like DJ Khaled or something like that nowadays.
Right, where
It's
apparently
like,
I just assume he's on every song.
Right.
It could be into a Tool album. I'm like, he's going to show up somewhere. That's right with the Tool.
Yeah, he popped up and did Live Aid. Like, who is this guy? I have no idea. Everybody, like, I should know who he is. I had no idea. 10 bands with self-titled songs on Sit and Spin.
Number 5. Oh, dearly call her nanny go to make it pretty baby a Sunday go.
I just got some Bo Diddley on vinyl.
Oh, yeah?
I did. I don't know that this song is on it.
I got to read the lyrics to this to find out what Bo Diddley is saying about himself.
Yeah, what's he up to?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I think it's right in the name. I mean, the last name's Diddley. I just have an assumption.
It's got to be
about
something
what
bad.
you're talking about.
Right.
Or if you're like, look, you know what? Ted Smith is doing that.
It involves fingers and genitalia. That's what I get out of Bo
2
Diddley.
a.m. money at the ATM. Yeah. These are 10 bands with self-titled songs on Sit and Spin.
Number 4. That's the deal we made just to join the
Oh, wow. Oh, this is horrible.
This is like a bad TV theme song.
The Blue Oyster Cult.
It does sound like, the spin-off from $6 Million Man or something.
Land of the Lost, you end up with the Blue Oyster Cult.
It does sound like Land of the Lost a little bit.
He's walking away at the end of the credits.
I've been aware of this band forever. I had no idea they had a song called Blue Oyster Cult.
I know 2 songs by them.
Don't Fear the Reaper.
And friggin' Godzilla.
Yep.
There goes Tokyo.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Godzilla.
Now you know 3 songs by this band.
In Blue Oyster Cult.
Yes.
Ever
Don't Fear the
expanding.
Reaper, sure. These are 10 bands with self-titled songs.
3. Number 3.
Yeah.
That one cooking with butter.
Now, is this the actual Black Sabbath song that they kind of consider as being the first
Like metal
song?
I don't know if this is the one, but it's got to be the same album.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? You were not hearing anything like this back in the day.
No.
That's why
Dark,
parents
sludgy.
hated them.
I mean, it's pretty dark and spooky.
Yeah, I mean, like, if this is someone's ringtone, I assume they were all black and have eyeliner on.
Well, they set the tone.
They really did.
Here's the name, here's the sound, here's the band.
You think after they recorded, the producer's like, "Are you guys okay?"
Right? Like, should we talk?
Angry much?
Right? He just spins around in his chair like, nobody's going to buy this crap.
This is creepy.
Right?
Scary and slow.
Jesus, what is wrong with this band?
10 bands with self-titled songs.
Number 2.
Well, yeah.
It's pretty cool, too.
I was going to say, that's the issue.
This is the best one so far.
Do they have a song called Good Company?
No, because it wouldn't be fun.
Yeah, that was you. Who wants Good Company?
Those are the people you invite to your home. You know?
Yeah.
Bad company's the people you meet at a bar. They're not really invited over, but you don't mind them.
Did a really bad hard rock band cover this at some point? Some Five Finger or something.
Oh, no. Don't be talking like
I'm
that.
doing it just to troll Mike. I'm just kidding. I like
Was it?
them.
Shade being thrown.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good tune.
I just want to see how mad I can get Mike.
They should have. Who was it? Five Finger?
Yeah.
So they should have changed the song to Five Finger Company. Yeah.
Do they-
I mean, you should cover yourself.
I mean, I feel like Five Finger Death Punch should have a song called Five Finger Death Punch.
should.
I want to know exactly how that works. So
Next album.
write a song about
It
it.
works for an MMA event.
Comes out on the next album.
10 bands with self-titled songs. We made it to number 1.
Number 1.
Were any of you guys Anthrax fans?
Yeah. I don't remember the song.
This is before they got the Joey to be their lead singer. They kicked one dude out. And he was
okay. That
this is
explains
like
it.
early Anthrax.
All right. Anthrax with Anthrax.
Mm-hmm.
From Fistful of Metal.
Yes.
Fistful of Metal. Good times. Daily Mix Morning Show, 6 to 10 a.m. right here on The Rock. You guys have tickets for, is it Stones this week?
We have Rolling Stones tickets and Black Crowes tickets.
When are either of them
Yeah.
playing? Because I know we like to give out tickets like 4 years before the band's going to show up.
I know,
So
right?
Are both of these shows this year?
Yes,
One of them is in
2024.
April and one of them is in May.
Did you guys want to see, honest to God, the Stones tour is being sponsored by AARP?
I did see that.
That
That's
is
how I got my discount tickets.
You have AARP?
No, my parents do.
Oh, okay.
I was like, hey,
what?
can I borrow your AARP number?
Don't blame that on your parents. That's Brad's.
I'm old enough to buy them that way.
I'm just taking the Centrum Silver now, you know?
What kind of discount are you getting with the
It wasn't
AARP?
actually, I don't think it was a discount. I think it was like just
It's an
early
buy.
access to the.
okay.
Yeah, it gave the old people a chance to get the
You
tickets
might die
before
soon.
the
Get in
youngsters
on
grabbed
this.
them all.
Well, you know how hard it is for old people to use the internet and buy concert tickets in the first place.
Yes.
They needed that day.
I know one of them very well. You're looking at it.
Daily Mix Morning Show, 6 to 10. Okay, thank you guys. Coming up, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Maximize the compensation for your injury claim with Phillips Law Firm. With over 80 years of combined legal experience, they won't allow the insurance companies to dictate what's good enough for you. Whether it's an auto accident or workplace injury, contact Phillips Law Firm today. If they don't win, you don't pay.
Yo, next round is about to start. You ready?
Yeah, just shopping for a car in Carvana.
For real?
Yeah, Carvana makes it super convenient to shop whenever, wherever.
For real? That's a ton of car options.
Yep, and these are all within my price range.
For really real? You can afford that?
Yeah, with Carvana. And boom, just like that, I'm getting it delivered in a couple days.
For really real? You just bought a car.
For real, and you just lost my turn.
Visit Carvana.com to shop for thousands of vehicles under $20,000.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returns.
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Mike Rowe here with a radical idea. If you want to see more companies make more things in this country, buy more things from more companies who make things in this country. I refer in this case to the incredible t-shirts, sweatshirts, blue jeans, and more made by my friends at American Giant. Everything American Giant makes is made in the United States. And right now, you can take 20% off your first order at american-giant.com/Mike. That's american-giant.com/Mike.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, Dakota minutes. We'll drink and toast for the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. A man is telling the story of how he spent 3 months on an alien mothership, and apparently it only lasted 18 minutes here on Earth.
Honestly, dude, I saw them once. They were amazing.
Oh, yeah?
The light show, the sounds, just a great band. Alien Mothership?
Alien Mothership, man.
Yeah.
He was talking about how just time travel's weird, man.
Yeah, man, they opened up for fish.
I think.
Right. Turns out that dude was just in the sphere.
Right. Dude, if you woke up in the sphere and did not know, you'd be like, no, I swear to God, I was abducted by aliens, man.
He was saying that he went and laid down in a cornfield somewhere, woke up in the mothership, spent like 92 days, something like that, on this mothership, and then came back and only 18 minutes here had passed.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
He just kind of got into, intergalactic shenanigans. He had to wear a special belt that helped him communicate.
I feel like aliens are just different from us. Like when I'm driving across
alien?
Well, when I'm cross-country tripping or going, taking a long road trip, I'm happy to see a city and stop and get some gas or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas the aliens seem to only take people out of
rural areas.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they're always taking our people away. They're not chilling here. They're not finding their way to, hang out and, stop at a bar and have a beer. No, it's like, I'm going to take this one with me real quick.
Yeah.
The guy sleeping in a cornfield.
Exactly. You know what? He seems interesting. Tell us about your species. A birthday. Them getting sucked up, Ted. A tractor beam of a mothership.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Got him.
You getting sucked up or slurped up in that game? It was weird, but felt kind of good.
If you're lucky.
I slid right in.
Is this the back door? A birthday parade is being arranged for the oldest living person in the U.S. for her 116th birthday.
Okay, good
nice.
Lord.
Like
parade?
When someone's that old, you need a life question on there for.
Yeah, I mean, what else?
116, but is it bacon and cigarettes? Is it one shot of tequila every night, or there's something attached to that story?
Like heroin,
cigarettes.
I mean, seriously, there's always something like where you can't believe logically that.
But they all say the same thing. I drink a shot of whiskey every day.
Right.
And I'll eat the fat on the bacon.
Drink 2 pots of coffee.
Right.
Well, and I'm also thinking, you guys remember a while back, I think it was an old gal out of Spokane that they interviewed her, and she was, up there. She was like 102, 110,
right.
Something like that. And basically all she wanted to do was be left alone.
I know.
So I'm looking at this poor woman, 116. Hey, Nana, we're throwing you a birthday parade. There's going to be 100 people driving by the house. I don't give a damn.
I don't want that.
I want to go take a nap.
I think the worst I saw, there was an old lady, over 100 years old, and she was like in rural Russia or somewhere in that part of the world. Lived on some desolate farm.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's a curse from God.
Right.
And she was like, I want to be dead. I'm just not.
Why am I still here?
Wow, that is not what you expect to hear.
I remember her, and she looked like existence was pain, dude. Like, damn.
Why have you lived so long? God hates me. Like,
An ADHD medication, Zenzetti, I believe,
sure,
has been recalled after different pills were found in one of their bottles.
Oh, dude, come on. You got to get on that.
Oh, no. Will this help my ADHD, or will it help my ADHD?
I don't know, but you have an erection.
Last 3 days.
Right.
You guys ever find a fun little fact where all of a sudden that thing that you didn't think had a name or a title, it actually did?
You like the aglet on your shoelace.
Exactly.
Or the squatchy on top of your
Did
baseball
we always
cap.
just go to that one because of cocktail?
What's that?
The thing on your shoelace?
With the aglet?
Yeah.
I did not learn that from cocktail.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. But luckily, I got a list.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 everyday things you never knew had names. I thought I would share a few notables that may not appear here. Vagitus. Yes, it does sound like a nasty STD. In fact, it is the result of some sweet, sweet copulation. that would be the first cry of your newborn baby. And how about interrobang?
I know that one.
No, it's not when you call out, who's your daddy, in the throes of passion. It's the combination of an exclamation point and a question mark at the end of a statement or thought.
All right.
Well, slap my booty and call me Betty.
I did that earlier.
I didn't call him Betty.
You just gave him an ass slap?
Yeah.
You got to say Betty, and he's much happier.
I was about to say, is that why he had a smile on his face today?
Yes, this is a great mood.
So these are everyday things that you never knew had names. Bottom of the list, to be honest with you, I thought they had a name, but you'll get these at Starbucks. Your coffee's a little on the hot side. You got to put a zarf around it.
Oh, those are the sleeves.
Yeah.
Exactly. Really?
I just always called it a sleeve.
Everybody calls it a... I'm going to ask for a zarf and see if they know what the hell I'm talking about.
Pardon me.
Yep,
My coffee's a
I'm
little
with
hot.
you.
Can I have a zarf?
I never get hot coffee, but I will now just to say.
Just to ask for a zarf.
Hey, where are the zarfs?
You know what? Be that guy and get it for your cold coffee, Ted. Just a little cold on my fingers, and then
I have sensitive fingers. A couple weekends ago, I actually got a hot coffee. That's how cold it was in this city.
Attaboy. Needed a zarf.
And for the record, I drink hot coffee every day, but if I go
Just
buy it
not
on the
from
weekends,
Starbucks, yeah.
I get iced.
You'll find it in a wine bottle, Eulage.
Is that the little hump at the bottom?
That's the punt.
Correct. That is the punt. But what this is it is the space, the air at the top of the bottle's beverage neck before it's opened.
Okay.
Huh.
It's called Eulage.
Okay.
Well, what about a bottle of anything then? Like if you buy...
Just wine, Miles.
It's just wine. Actually, I have no idea.
Okay, like if you bought a Coke in a glass bottle.
Yeah, of a bottled beverage. It is that space, that empty air in the neck.
There's a lot of eulogy in this one. I'm not getting my money's worth.
Is the study of it eulogy?
That's my first thought. Eulogy is the next logical thing.
I mean, there's no E in this eulage, but... has anybody here used a Snellen chart?
A Snellen.
Don't know until you tell me.
I'm going to say yes, I have, even though I don't know what it is.
We all have. I actually had one, and that's how I got to have these fancy glasses on my face.
Oh, is that the vision test?
A Snellen chart is that vision test. Yes, when you go to the eye doctor, you'll be asked to identify letters on a poster on the opposite wall. Everyone calls it an eye chart, but its real name is the Snellen chart.
I do poorly at that.
Named for the Dutch ophthalmologist Herman Snellen.
Wish he had a cooler last name.
Right? Snellen. That's the problem. You can't invent something if you have a lame last name.
Give credit to someone else.
Right. Rorschach.
Right. Cool.
Cool name. Everyday things that you never knew had names. Do you guys know where you would find a pip? There's several of them on this particular object. Hundreds, in fact.
Say it again, a pep?
Pips.
I thought it was like the dot on a die or something.
You're so close. I think those are technically pips as well.
But that's not the only...
But what this is referring to is the bumps on a ping pong paddle.
Really?
Yes.
So, Gladys Knight and the Pips. That might be the worst freaking name in the history of a band. Yeah, we was named after the bumps on a ping pong paddle. Gladys loves some table tennis,
after
dog.
the little nubbies on the ping pong paddle.
I mean, maybe that's what they were doing in the studio.
Maybe. We need a name. And the Pips. It's either that or the Balls. It's probably like, let's go Pips.
Just playing table tennis like, hey.
I would listen to her sing about ping pong.
Somehow that's a compliment. I recognize that.
It is. I'm just saying. I'm just imagining this very soulful song about table tennis.
I don't know what it sounds like.
Well, it's got nothing to do with a breakup, a man, a woman, nothing. It's just literally her and the Pips just going nuts on table tennis.
Table tennis. There's got to be a Forrest Gump reference in there. Everyday things that you never knew had names. Where would you guys find Floem bundles?
Floem bundles.
You do ingest this, however, you're probably not happy if you eat them. They come on a piece of fruit, one that you peel.
Banana peels?
It is those stringy bits.
On the orange?
No, on the banana peel.
Oh, on the banana peel.
When you peel a banana and it's got those long stringy bits that hang up, those are Floem bundles.
I just always thought it was part of the banana.
Well, I mean, it is, but they just call it like banana strips.
It is neither peel nor banana.
I mean, if you're just eating a banana straight out of the peel, I feel like you just chomp through them.
Yeah.
But if you take the whole peel off and there's one dangling, you rip it off.
Yes. For whatever reason.
And the thing is that if it stays on there like you're saying, I don't care. You know, I'll bite into it and not care. But then as soon as that thing just flops on down to the side like,
ew.
Yeah, I don't know what the difference is.
I'd eat
but
you if
you're
I can't see you.
Right.
Yeah.
It still tastes like banana. It doesn't alter the taste at all, but it freaks me out every time it's there. Doggone flowing bundles. Everyday things that you never knew had names. Petrichor, I believe is how you say this.
Petrichor.
It's either Petrichor or Petrichor.
Is that working out at the gas station?
No, not bad.
Petrichor.
Yeah. You lift the full gallon of gas.
Right? You take it off. You put the nozzle back.
It is related to a smell, not one that we get a whole lot here in Seattle.
Is it the smell, like after it rains, that smell you get from the grass, essentially?
The heavenly aroma that permeates the great outdoors immediately after it rains.
It really depends on where you live.
Yeah.
Really
not in
does.
Fremont.
No.
They call that urine.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Clean the streets.
I imagine Bourbon Street's not a whole lot better either.
No.
But
yeah.
You're happy if all you smell is urine on Bourbon Street.
And they rinse it off every night or every morning. It's
Morning.
always damp and has a funk.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a smell to it. And it smells like Cajun seasoning, too.
A little
from
bit.
grease, from all the things. Like I swear,
nothing
to God,
like urine with a hint
the
of
food
Cajun.
has a very universal flavor to it.
Everything.
Right.
I guess I just remember the first time I went to Bourbon Street. We got there because of the flights. It was early, not early, but it was
get there early.
9 or 10 a.m. And it just
that's the worst time.
Right, we weren't even drinking, and I was like, we were like dry heaving. It was a unique smell.
Steve, you're not allowed to answer this, but what is a octothorpe?
Octothorpe.
An octothorpe.
We've asked this on Big Dummy.
You see it on
All
social
right,
media
so it's
a lot.
8. 8.
Yeah.
And then a thorpe.
And literally, he named the Thorpe part because, and I'm not making this up, the guy that came up with the name, 8 is part of it. Thorpe, because he was a fan of the athlete Jim Thorpe.
I don't remember.
It's the pound sign, the hashtag.
Yeah.
Oh, the actual name.
Yeah, that's the actual name.
The actual name is an octothorpe. Again, these are everyday things that you never knew had names. Does anybody know what Grolix is? You'll see this on comic books. You'll see this in artistry and drawings. What is Grolix, Steve?
I believe it is when a comic book, if you're looking at a panel of a comic, right? Sunday paper comic book, and that character is cussing.
Correct.
But they don't write out the words, so you see like the ampersand, the octothorpe, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. You're gonna see the @ sign, an exclamation point, $sign. They're gonna basically spell out the cuss word with exclamation.
Do you know why I know this stuff? Because I don't have friends. That's kind of that's the way I'm feeling right now.
Glabellus. Again, these are everyday things that you never knew had names. I believe everybody in here has a glabellus. Yes, we do.
It's part of the body, right?
It is indeed. It is found on the face. Some people do not, and we make fun of them for it. It is,
eyebrows.
It is the space between your eyebrows.
Okay. So if you have a glabellus mustache, what we're saying is you're a unibrow.
Or you don't have a glabellus.
I'm going to screw this one up. Ferrules? Ferrules?
Yeah.
For reals? For rules?
I've seen the word, man. I don't know what
They
it
are
is.
on a writing utensil, specifically a pencil.
Oh, the metal part that holds the eraser to the
Correct.
pencil.
That is correct.
Oh, no kidding.
It's called a ferrule. Anybody know what a cornicone is? This is the best part of a pizza slice.
Cornicone.
Is it the first bite?
Sorry. It's a cornicione.
Cornicione.
Petey taught me that one. Cornicione. It's a great spot. You get this bite, dude. It's that big fat bubble that's in the middle.
I don't
of the
like
slice.
that. Oh, that's not the best spot.
You don't like that, Miles?
That's the worst spot. I avoid that piece with all caution.
I'm Team Miles. I don't need a bubble.
It doesn't have the sauce. It doesn't have the cheese. All the toppings that fall to the side.
It's like a pizza's it.
It's terrible. They make it a point to try to pop that stuff when they're baking
That's
it.
some
so
of
it
the
doesn't happen.
softest pieces, dude. I love that. That's great.
What is it called again?
Cornicione.
I mean, if
You
the
can have
bubble,
it.
I will
You
say
can
this:
have it.
if the bubble's been flattened, like crushed, and there's
Right.
cheese over top of it,
Sure.
That's different.
I don't mind it. But like, yeah, like a true like New York style pie, and it's got that little harsh dome. I'm out.
And then the number
I
one.
mean, I'd still eat it, obviously.
Yeah, I was about to say, brother,
Yeah, I know.
we both know you're eating that damn thing.
Everything that you never knew how to name. An armsis.
Armsis?
ARMSCYES. Armsis.
Are we familiar with this on an everyday basis?
Yes, you are. Because when it comes to shirt sleeves, many believe that the hole that your arm eventually pokes out of is part of the sleeve itself. This is not correct. Your arm makes its journey through the sleeve, but without the armsis, the hole at the end of it, your arm would be imprisoned forever. It is literally the opening
The hole of the sleeve.
of the sleeve.
Good Lord.
Yeah, you learn
So
something
it's
new
a
every day.
sleeve even if it's closed?
Correct.
Huh.
Yes.
Like a
'Cause you-
sock.
Yeah, because you can put...
No, it's a shirt sock.
A man in Australia was asked for his ID, and you'll never believe what he handed off along with it, Miles.
What did he hand off?
Give you all the details at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK. Have we made it to drinking time?
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
A new year is full of surprises, but one thing is always predictable. Postage costs go up. Stamps.com gives you crazy discounts of up to 89% off USPS and UPS services. So when postage goes up, your business will barely notice the change. Stamps.com is like your own personal post office, wherever you are. You can even take care of orders on the go with the mobile app. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Schedule package pickups, automatically find the cheapest and fastest shipping options, and seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart. There's even a supply store where you can stock up on mailing supplies, labels, even printers. Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses just like yours. All you need is a computer or phone and printer. Take a chunk out of your mailing and shipping costs this year with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com code PROGRAM.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized.
Keep that list, Mike.
And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Throw Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast 35-year-old Celia Barrett of St. Petersburg, Florida. Celia,
St. Petersburg.
What the hell? That's a much different perspective there. St. Petersburg, Florida.
Man, dude.
St. Petersburg.
You and gravity,
see
huh?
that thing? Good Lord, brother. It ain't that hot.
Newton. It's human, man. It's human.
Celia, seemingly, is one of those people who strongly subscribes to the theory of go big or go home, even if it's stupid. So this past Sunday, Celia paid a visit to Racetrack. That's a chain of gas station / convenience stores, mostly located throughout the South. Now, she was armed with one of the deadliest weapons known to man, a vegetable peeler, and Celia immediately threatened the 2 employees that happened to be working that shift, even threatening to kill one of them, again, with the vegetable peeler. Then, unprovoked, she toppled and broke a display of Red Bull before then turning her attention to a carton of cigarettes that she tore open and spilled on the floor. She did all of this while being completely naked. And I'd like to add, she walked into the store naked. It is not like she stripped off. As soon as she opened the door, they thought to themselves, oh no, it's going to be one of these moments. Well, one of the final notes I'd like to point out, police finally did arrive. And before they could get her into custody, guess what she did? Yeah, she started masturbating. And then they finally arrested her. There's like 8,000 charges against her. Thank you, Mike, for that visual. I don't know if it was that vigorous, but...
oh, it was.
Nevertheless, man, yeah. So you walk into a store naked, armed with a vegetable peeler, threaten to kill people, break everything in the store, and masturbate when the cops get there. Boy, if I were single, I'd be looking her up right now.
Look out.
So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze. Because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bitola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Jack. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Jack, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes.
Fantastic. You got your choice of 1 of 3 stories. We have the category of interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. And finally, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
Let's go. Hit me with your best shot.
We go back to the state of Florida, where a man was arrested after striking a Circle K cashier in the forehead with a thrown object and then hopping over the counter to further batter the victim. According to a criminal complaint, one Edward Riordan, the convenience store worker, he tried to check out John Mayhas as he was next in line. However, for some reason that no one knows, Mayhas refused to let Riordan handle his transaction. Instead, he walked over to another employee, rendered payment, and then threw the object toward the victim, hitting him in the forehead. After Riordan asked him to leave the Circle K, that's when Mayhas became irate and hurtled over the counter to push and strike the victim in the face. When questioned by police, Mayhas admitted that he jumped over the register counter and did in fact strike the victim. He was arrested for battery, which is a misdemeanor, booked into jail. The question is, what did he hit the cashier in the forehead with? Credit to his aim. Was it a frozen burrito, a Snickers bar, a chocolate egg, or beef jerky? So frozen burrito, Snickers bar, a chocolate egg, or beef jerky. What did he throw and hit this poor cashier in the forehead with?
Say chocolate egg?
Chocolate egg. Or beef jerky. Or beef jerky, yes.
Well,
Florida.
That's tough. Circle K.
Circle K, yes.
Jack, I'm going to go frozen burrito.
I mean, that's a good pick. But I think I'm going to have to go Snickers.
Snickers bar, really satisfying.
In front of the counter. I mean, right there, always, you know.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Crime
Seems
of
odd
convenience.
that he paid for it and then threw it at the dude.
But keep in mind, so there's 2 cashiers working.
Right.
You're the cashier, and no one has explained why. I have decided, I don't like you, Ted. I'm not letting you ring me up. I go to the other cashier. But as the other cashier rings me up, I pick up an object and throw it at you anyway and hit you in the forehead. You're not even the guy that rang me up. I've just determined I don't like you. Kind of the reverse of that chick that used to work at Bartell.
Yeah, I'll go Snickers as well.
Ted going Snickers bar.
Not you when you're hungry.
What did he throw at that Circle K cashier? A frozen burrito, a Snickers bar, a chocolate egg, or beef jerky? We'll find out next.
That was a tease.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. If they don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm. Justice for you.
Oh, should we start this show?
Yeah, I'm down. Just buying a car on Carvana first.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it's super convenient. I already got pre-qualified in 2 minutes. All I had to do is answer a few questions.
Ooh, that's helpful.
And now just customizing my down and monthly payments.
Ooh, that's a very fair deal.
Yep. Boom. Just bought a car. And you get to take me to the Carvana vending machine in a couple days to pick it up.
Ooh, I'm kind of busy.
Visit Carvana.com to finance your next car.
Financing subject to credit approval.
A peanut butter M&M's production.
In a world where Super Bowl winners get the world's admiration and a fancy ring, but the runners-up get nothing, one retired cop returned...
That's one retired quarterback. Read the script.
Oh, sorry. One retired quarterback returns to claim what's his.
That's claim a ring with diamonds made from M&M's peanut butter. But you're on a roll.
The Ring of Comfort, coming soon to a Super Bowl near you.
Every year, one thing is always predictable. Postage costs go up. Stamps.com gives you crazy discounts of up to 89% off USPS and UPS services, so your business will barely notice the change. Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses just like yours. It's like your own personal post office. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories, hit me with your best shot on profile list. We got a Florida man arrested after throwing something at a Circle K cashier. I guess one guy refused to ring him up. He went over to the other cashier and ended up throwing it.
No, the exact opposite. The guy was willing to ring him up. The customer just determined he did not like that cashier. They never met.
Okay.
And went to the other cashier and then still threw something and hit the first cashier in the forehead.
Okay. So the question is, what did he throw at him that he jumped over the counter and punched him? Was it a frozen burrito, a Snickers bar, a chocolate egg, or beef jerky?
And, Jack, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with Miles Montgomery, who picked my favorite answer, which would be the frozen burrito.
And it doesn't make sense now to think about it. If you are in a Circle K, you probably are going to put that thing in the microwave. That way when you
While you're there,
you can eat it.
In your defense, generally you buy it. I've always bought it first and then heated it up.
And then heated it up, yeah. Good. But it was not a frozen burrito.
Okay.
And, Jack, you agree with D. Ted Smith. You guys both went with the Snickers bar. Oh, I'm afraid it was not the Snickers bar.
Chocolate egg?
It was a freaking chocolate egg.
All right, I didn't know how fresh your story was.
Like a Cadbury?
I get that. You know what? What's funny is in the story, they made it a point to tell you. No one said if it was Cadbury or someone else, but yeah, grabbing those hard-ass chocolate eggs and hit this dude in the forehead with it.
It makes sense that he could have better aim with
the chocolate egg. I agree.
You know, like a package of beef jerky. I mean, you don't know how the thing's going to fly.
You'd have to put it on its side and kind of fling it.
Mm-hmm. Like
I'm going to try that next time.
That's right.
I mean, you could throw it like a Frisbee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Your choices today: Stephen Colbert, Tom Wilson.
Hey, look at that.
The Jimmies.
Okay.
Seth Meyers. Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It's right there. The title. These guys have teams of talented writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
French tourist in Arkansas. Oh, wow. Oh, French tourist in Arkansas visited at Arkansas's Crater of Diamond State Park, found a 7-carat diamond. Wow. That's hard to believe. Someone in France took a vacation to Arkansas?
I'm guessing Fallon.
Yeah.
Seth.
A French tourist at Arkansas's Crater of Diamonds State Park recently found a 7-carat diamond. Wow, that is hard to believe. Someone in France took a vacation to Arkansas?
I think I wrote curator.
Oh, instead of
crater.
Oh.
Yeah. Some stats from the Adventure Travel Trade Association reports that female travelers account for 57% of the explorers who make reservations through global travel companies. The funny part is it's mostly older women. Women over 40 are prime clients, and women over 65 are getting particularly adventurous. And a related story, there's been a high influx of young 20-something men applying for jobs in Jamaica.
Tetsu.
Kimmel.
Smith.
Yeah.
That's a hell still I got a groove back joke. Yeah. What's it? Rena Rastafarian or
Rena?
Yeah. Old ladies. Older ladies, not old ladies.
The older you get, the less you say it.
That is real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I can't say older. I'm 43.
Right. Mm-hmm. Ladies my age.
Yeah. What up? I know you got to click on mature just to see a woman your age in porn.
That's when you know you've crossed the threshold, man.
Amazon announced today that they're abandoning the buy to the maker of Roomba. Apparently, the deal was going great. Then I got stuck under a chair.
Foul.
Yeah, foul.
Yeah, it's foul.
Well, some business news today. Amazon announced that they are abandoning plans to buy the maker of Roomba. Apparently, the deal was going great. Then it got stuck under a chair.
Russian President Vladimir Putin was formally registered for the upcoming election in March. And I've seen enough. With 0% of the precincts reporting, I'm calling it for Putin.
Seth?
Seth. Russian President Vladimir Putin was formally registered for the upcoming election in March. And I've seen enough. With 0 precincts reporting, I'm calling it for Putin.
All right. Yep. Careful what you wish for. All right. So yesterday I talked about there was the premiere on Netflix of the We Are the World. It was a documentary about how they made that song, right? And they called it The Greatest Night in Pop. Right. Basically just because so many people were there. And if you don't remember the song, I'm sure you've heard it. You know, we are the world, we are the future.
We are the champion, we are the one to make a right dance, and let's not give him. Let's not give him.
So there's some pretty interesting things here, all right? Number one, right, because when it comes out, I mean, I'm a kid. We love
85, I think 84, 85.
Yeah, it's 80. It was recorded after the 1985 American Music Awards. That's how they had all those stars in town.
All right.
And you're right. When you were a kid, it was just mind-blowing to see all of them.
And it's all different genres.
Yeah. And you know what? There was a lot of different people doing stuff in the music industry back then that was good that I remember. There was obviously Live Aid, which was the 3 concerts for Hungary and Africa. Then you had...
Wasn't this song specifically attached to that?
No. Well, yes,
because it was to raise money, right?
And then they had the Christmas song that they did.
Okay, so that's part of this. Harry Belafonte, right? He basically started We Are the World. At least it was his idea to do something about hunger in Africa. They did this based on the Band-Aid charity song, Do They Know It's Christmas from the UK, which came out first.
And then they did another one after that called...
Yeah, they knew, but they got no gifts.
They had a apartheid... song called I Don't Want to Play Sun City, which was a casino in South Africa. They were trying to make sure that artists didn't go there and support that venue because they were, the
apartheid
segregation.
Correct.
Yeah.
I feel like I've always just known a little more about South Africa just because, like, where I grew up, there was just always signs that were like, end the apartheid.
Yep, that's
so, I mean,
exactly.
even before we learned history about it, you just constantly, as a kid, you were just like, what's going on?
Because it's history now, but it was current then.
It was current, right, which is pathetic to even think about.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, they avoided any dated expressions when they wrote the song. Things like right on or yo dog. They wanted to make sure the lyrics were timeless. I didn't even know people were saying yo dog at 25. I told you it was recorded after the American Music Awards. That's how they had all those people. Prince was supposed to be there, but he no-showed. People seem to think it was because of his rivalry with Michael Jackson.
Yep.
And also it just didn't fit his brand. I don't know why they had to add this, but when they recorded it, he was at a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
Well, I mean, he was in town.
Right.
So.
He just didn't.
But again, in 85, I bet it was exciting to go to a Mexican restaurant that wasn't Chi-Chi's.
Right. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think. There was Chi-Chi's and locally owned stuff. I don't even know if there are any more chains then.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Other than Taco Bell or something. But I mean, like, as far as, well, hell, Chi-Chi's wasn't authentic either. But yeah, like Chi-Chi's was the Mexican restaurant.
Correct. Let's see. This is my favorite one. Madonna was not invited. Apparently, some of the organizers felt that she wasn't a good enough singer. They went with Cyndi Lauper instead. Sources say it broke her heart. Thrill, you have said for years, like, look, I'm just not a fan of Madonna's music, or like, I just don't really care about her too much. Now, I will say I have spent some time with her as a young teenager.
Everybody sussed one out, but I think that was the secret to her success. She's willing to show her gooch, and she gets to the top, but it wasn't, and you can even like her songs, but very few people would argue that she had a good voice.
Correct, and that's what you see here. Dan Aykroyd, he took part by accident. He just happened to be talking to a talent manager that day, and the guy invited him to the recording session.
I think Madonna's like, Dan Aykroyd's there, but I'm not. Like, yeah, but he can sing a little bit.
Well, I will say this. I mean, if you know one thing, he can play harmonica. I have 2 Blues Brother albums at home. Now, they have a professional backup band. Sure. But those 2 guys could perform and sing as frontmen. You know, John Belushi didn't play anything. He just mostly danced and sang. But it's amazing albums, actually. You know,
yeah, they're not bad.
Blues and R&B.
Let's see. These are some facts about the making of We Are the World. Bob Dylan almost had a nervous breakdown. He got all stressed out trying to figure out how to sing his part when basically all they wanted him to do was to sound like Bob Dylan.
Yeah, just be you, man.
But he doesn't harmonize or anything.
No, he goes, we are the one to make a better day, so let's start giving.
I think when they recorded,
there's a choice we're making.
Most of them are in the studio all at once, so it's even tougher for them because you're not doing a solo track and we'll add it. It's like, no, you're here with like 25 people, whatever it was.
Right,
I mean,
there's
it was
a bunch of them in there. Eddie Murphy missed his chance to be there. He was at Stevie Wonder's studio recording Party All the Time.
Go figure.
Stevie asked him if he wanted to come over, but he declined. When he realized he passed up, obviously he felt like an idiot.
Yeah, he could have recorded that anytime.
Not everybody liked the song. Billy Joel claims they all hated it, but nobody was willing to say so. And probably because at the end of the day, it was a massive success. It spent 4 weeks at number 1. Went quadruple platinum within a month, went on to sell 7 million copies and help raise over $63 million.
Damn.
It did a fantastic job, and I was hyper aware of it at that time. I'm 15, 16 years old, but yeah, as far as a song goes, it was awful. I thought, like, this is a terrible song, but you appreciate what they're doing. So you kind of cut them the slack.
I can't remember if it was a new song or they redid a song right after 9/11. That had a bunch of pop stars and music stars in it.
Man, They had
worked on something.
I'm not sure.
And look, it sounds odd talking about it on our radio station, but most people don't realize that was supposed to be the original launch of XM. So they had flown in a bunch of massive stars there. And if I remember correctly, it's like the launch of XM was supposed to be September 11th or September 12th. But obviously they couldn't throw that. It was in New York.
Right.
So there was a bunch of them in New York because I remember there was videos of like about all these pop stars in these studios. It's like, right, they were all there for that huge launch and play some huge concert. But obviously you can't go out and be like, let's have fun.
Right.
And you're in New York City.
Exactly. You're in the epicenter of it all.
Right. And I mean, sports, everything was shut down there for a while. So obviously that got shut down as well. All right, the biggest news on the block is the next 2 weeks. Actually, this week's kind of quiet, right, when you talk about football and the Super Bowl. Now, I know what people are saying. Ted, have you forgotten your roots? No, I haven't. I will watch the Senior Bowl on Saturday. Yeah. That's a fact. But this week's kind of quiet. Next week, you'll have all the media days.
Right.
The teams will arrive. I think they get there, Friday or Saturday. I do find it interesting. The Super Bowl is in Las Vegas.
Correct.
Now, if you're the Chiefs, it's pretty simple. This is kind of your routine. So Andy Reid's like, yeah, we're not switching much. But both of those teams are outside of the Strip for good reason.
Yes.
The main reason is,
Corin Robinson.
Right. And I don't think those guys do as much as that stuff during the day. Like, that's what we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. Like, I have a hard time seeing a current player doing that. But also, those guys aren't allowed to gamble at all.
On anything. No. Not even a slot machine.
Correct. So it's like, right, we might as well just stay in a super nice, and there's a lot of nice resorts that are not on the strip.
Yeah, absolutely. I just can't imagine being anywhere in Vegas and not walking past a slot machine in any hotel.
Oh, you're going to.
It's just what I'm saying. I just like, you try, but that seems to be unavoidable as far as it being part of the whatever you're staying at.
It is.
Like even the airport. I mean, you name it. You're just walking past it.
Yeah, and I think that they'll be fine with that stuff. But right, if you're staying on the strip, if you're staying at the Wynn, right, you have it's one of the nicest casinos.
Mm-hmm.
You have arguably the best nightclub in the frickin' world in there.
Yeah,
with like top tier DJs and stuff. Remember, these are mostly young men. Right. So it's like I think it's a great idea.
Even the old ones are young men.
Here's something else.
Right.
Look, you're multimillionaires. You are in Vegas. Stay Monday, stay Tuesday. Have a little party, do whatever you want,
right.
and
Super Bowl.
enjoy yourself in Vegas. If you want, if you lose, maybe one thing you want to fly home and get the hell out of there. But if you win, you might as well stay for a couple extra days and enjoy it. Your family's already there.
I mean, even if you lose, look, obviously you're upset. But remember there was that video years ago of Gronk at like the team party dancing, and people were like, "Oh, he lost. How could he do that?" And it's like, well, number one, like he did lose, but like they had been to a few, and then number two is like, you've spent all season this super intense thing. Like, you want to go out and party.
You're going to cut loose, man.
Right, there's already parties planned. If anything, I'm sure these NFL teams, Miles, you're absolutely right, are more worried about, like, what happens to some of the fellas on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, that's where your stories will hit.
You bet.
Yeah, without a doubt, man.
And I don't blame them.
I would.
I would go out, too.
Well, and how many players who aren't in it are going to make their way down to Vegas to, just be there for the Super Bowl?
Well, they are, right? Because there's Radio Row, which I still kind of want to do one year.
They got to call us down there, man.
We're not a sports station, so I don't know.
Good enough.
Cass will be like, well, you guys aren't doing that. Like, you know what? They're not letting the four of us do the show from Vegas for 4 days. Like, it's not going to happen. No. But you're right. And a lot of those players that you'll see, they'll pop up on Radio Row and like TV, Cowherd has his show on TV. They're all going to show up and they'll do a quick interview.
Yep.
Right. And then they'll be like, hey, like for me, I'd be like, I just want to mention once again, I'm proud to be here because of Bounty paper towels. I use them as napkins and to clean up messes in my home. Bounty. I mean, that's basically what they do, right? So, Mike, you're right. That'll be insane down there. I mean, look, it's too late now, I'm sure, to get hotel rooms and stuff. But if you've ever wanted to meet, like, any NFL players, like, that's the week to be down there.
It sure is.
Because I didn't even think about it until Mike just said that. Right, it's the Super Bowl. All those ex-players show up at a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Hell, one year, Russell Wilson was in the goddamn owner's box.
What? Yeah, of course. Do what we did. When the Super Bowl was in New Orleans, we stayed in Biloxi, Mississippi, which was about an hour, 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
If you can't get a room in Las Vegas, go to Mesquite, Nevada, which is 45 minutes east toward the Arizona border. Stay there in one of their casinos. Just drive over.
Yeah.
Make it a
trust me, you will get priced out of Vegas anyway.
When I went down for Formula One, like we were staying over just in, I guess it's Henderson or maybe a little north.
Henderson, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like where the Raiders practice and stuff. Like there was nice casinos out there. And I mean, I'm sure because I'm old, like, I kind of like staying off the strip.
It's probably
kind of nice.
Yeah, not bad. Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. Headlines on the way. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Okay, picture this. It's Friday afternoon when a thought hits you. I can spend another weekend doing the same old whatever, or I can hop into my all-new Hyundai Santa Fe and hit the road. With available H-Track all-wheel drive and 3-row seating, my whole family can head deep into the wild. Conquer the weekend in the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. Hyundai, there's joy in every journey. 2024 Santa Fe, available early 2024.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
What a beautiful day in nature. Take it from a little bug like me. Nothing makes you feel more alive. Whoa, I almost got frogged. That was a close call. But boy, do I feel capital A alive. Luckily for you humans, Nature's Way put that thrilling feeling of aliveness in a bottle. Nature's Way Alive Women's Multivitamin Gummies with 16 vitamins and minerals. Delicious multivitamins inspired by nature. Whoa, better luck next time, pal. Nature's Way.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go to Florida and the Village's entrance, where a man greets residents with swollen clackers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, researchers believe that your dog actually dreams about their owners, giving them bones and crackers. If you're headed to the racetrack, bet on the horse that's on meth. A man trying to steal a car at a dealership, he comes pretty close to death. And a guy then steals a truck with $30,000 of ice cream inside. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
All right, our top story, we go to Australia, where a man forgot what he had on him. He was stopped by authorities during the New Year's Eve celebrations that took place earlier this month for a random breathalyzer test, and was also asked for his ID in the process. It's all routine. It's all usual. The man complied, knowing that he wouldn't produce a test above the legal limit, but forgot something that he had put in his wallet. The officer took his ID and noticed something stuck to the back of it, a small baggie with a white powder substance inside. Suspicions led to tests, which led to a confirmation that the man did indeed have cocaine in his wallet that he had forgotten about.
Look, I'm telling you, I believe this to be a believable story.
Absolutely.
I really do.
He got it from a buddy, he threw it into his wallet and just forgot about it.
And I would even be willing to bet, look, if he's lying about that, okay.
Wait, you believe him?
I believe that if you tested him for cocaine, that there is a chance that it might not be in his system.
There's a chance it's not in the system, but I do believe it's 100% chance it's his, because again, we've established you don't ask other people to hold your drugs.
No, it's in his wallet.
Oh yeah,
he's not cocaine,
and he's not denying ownership.
He said I had this on New Year's Eve. I forgot it was in my wallet. It was like
okay, I got you.
So when he handed over the card, it was kind of stuck to the back of his ID. And so they flipped it over, like, what the hell is this? He's like, oh my God, this is the cocaine they gave me. Like, trust me, New Year's and the end of January, he would have done that if he knew he had it.
Sure. Yeah, you don't.
And if he bought it yesterday, then he's lying.
Who did he give it to again?
A cop.
He did give it to the cop.
Yeah, because it was stuck to his ID.
Yeah. Basically, just a DUI stop. And yeah, here's my ID. Baggie stuck to the back of it.
Right.
And the fact, Miles, here's the thing. It's stuck to the back of his ID. It's been in there long enough to where it adhered to the back of his ID.
Yeah. Well, like when they had the money on the cocaine that I got out of the money that I got at the ATM that was covered in cocaine at the Canadian border, right? So the guy says, like, well, I didn't have any cocaine on me, obviously. They could figure that out. And he goes, well, do you do cocaine, sir? And I was like, well, yeah, I have. Yeah,
hell yeah.
And he goes, like, when's the last time you did cocaine? I was like, 6 months ago in Vegas. I mean, I wouldn't say that in front of my wife if she was standing there, but I mean, we were in separate rooms.
I planned on doing it tomorrow.
Exactly.
But I haven't done it yet.
I'm going to buy it up here.
Do you have any recommendations?
You know anybody?
You got a club recommendation?
You got an evidence locker back there?
Gay bar or anything? Where? Right. Tell me where to go, man.
In other news, a man...
That's probably the only drug you put in your wallet, too. You wouldn't put a joint in your wallet.
What's in your wallet? Cocaine.
Actually, I did that once, but I did it because we had an event the night before, and people just handed me weed, so I stuffed the joint in my wallet. Forgot it was there. The next day, the KISW crew, a lot of us flew down to San Francisco for that Metallica show.
Yeah.
No idea it's there. Went through security just fine. When we got to San Francisco, the first thing we did was stop at an Irish pub, right?
Sure.
No big deal. And we're all going to chip in and pay. I open my wallet, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Oops.
There's a joint sitting in there. And then we smoked it.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I did not mean to bring this, but I did.
Oh, God. In other news, a man in Florida was arrested for having a little bit too much fun at the hospital. He had already been discharged from the local facility, but elected to keep his gown on and post up by the front door. He was observed by multiple witnesses lifting his gown to expose himself to patients, asking them to check his genitals, reportedly jiggling his bits during the entire encounter.
I did not realize he'd been discharged.
Yeah,
I
he was
just
discharged.
assumed that he was on his way to get whatever procedure done.
He was done.
God, man.
Yeah, authorities were called, and he now faces exposure charges.
I feel like if you're a cop, right, and basically that's the nature of the crime.
Sure.
I'm going to tase him right in the boys.
You bet.
Do you want to be arrested or you want to get tased in the boys?
Let me check him.
You're wasting my time.
To Springfield, Illinois, where a man couldn't wait to get back into trouble. He had been arrested on Friday for criminal trespassing and had gone through the normal process. He was taken to jail and issued an order to appear in court before he was released back into society. But just a mere 15 minutes later, county authorities got a call that he was outside of the county building, and he had thrown a pole through the window of the facility with damages totaling $3,500 to repair.
This is a guy that wants to be in jail.
That's right. Given this new information, charges were added that he'll have to answer for. Good job there, dummy. And just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
Thankfully, there's good news.
we go to Harvard, where a psychologist has looked into the world of dreams and has deduced something about your dogs. In their research, they've discovered that humans dream of their everyday experiences and believe that there's no reason to suggest anything otherwise when it comes to your dogs. With that, they've deduced that there's a very good chance that your dog dreams about you.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's their deduction, but there's no way. I think it makes us feel better.
No way to prove
Your
it, sure.
dog might be dreaming about killing a grizzly bear, flying a spaceship,
Sure.
the ability to speak a language.
And I think that all those do happen as well. But there is just as much
Hello,
of a
Mr.
chance.
Bear. Is it weird to you that I can speak English?
Right. There's also just as much of a chance that when your dog is running in their sleep, they are chasing a ball that you've thrown in their dream.
I always assume a squirrel, but I don't know.
I always thought they dream about, like, you dropping food on the floor.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
You just start licking in the middle.
Yeah, my dog takes the position. As soon as anyone sits down to eat, she's under the table. Jump bag. She's just under the table.
Oh.
Come on, gravity. Do me a solid.
What's with somebody and they go, oh, our dog thinks you're weak. I go, why is that? Because I was like standing up eating a taco, and they think you're to drop something. I go, well, your dog's stupid.
In the world of sports, you got NBA basketball over on TNT, some college hoops on the ESPN channel, CBS Sports and FS1, and in the world of hockey, your Seattle Kraken back in action down in San Jose, taking on the Sharks. Puck drops at 7:30 over on Root Sports. We got Joey Decord back in the net, trying to get back on the horse there after that loss here just a couple days ago. As far as your weather's concerned, sticking in the mid-50s tonight all the way into tomorrow. However, you're gonna want to grab a jacket. The rain is back in force all day tomorrow. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. Kevin Deers up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Imagine the relief of securing fair compensation for an accident you were in, where the insurance companies aren't dictating what's good enough and your injuries and suffering are truly acknowledged. Whether it's an auto accident, a workplace injury, or slip and fall, Phillips Law Firm has dedicated over 2 decades to ensuring their clients receive the rightful compensation and attention they deserve. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today or visit justiceforyou.com. They don't win, you don't pay. Phillips Law Firm, justice for you.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Do relationships have to be easy to be right? Of course not. The best relationships with friends, family, or partners happen when both people put in the time and commitment to make them great. Therapy can help. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Give your relationship some love with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/positive today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/positive.
Cyclists, get ready to shift gears. Newport, Oregon is calling you for an unforgettable ride along the stunning Pacific Coast. Whether you're a casual rider or a mountain biking pro, Newport has the perfect trail for you. They've got it all: scenic coastal roads, bike lanes, and rugged trails. Cruise along the Yaquina Bay waterfront or delve into their charming neighborhoods. There's something for everyone. Your adventure starts at discovernewport.com. That's discovernewport.com.